Alright. As I'm gonna start up. Are my add-ons for this character good? Yeah. Okay. I'll log back in real quick. See what we were fucking doing here for a second. Right. Yeah, I got DC'd for like no good fucking reason. How? Blizzard and their glitches. Okay. Whatever. Alright. Oh, they undid that too? You fuck cunts. Okay. Good? Okay, right. So what the fuck was I doing? I think I was gonna try to go... Yeah, down here. Kill some of these murlocs. Their vile fins. Gotta do that. That too. That too. That too. I'm gonna do one more. That one. Okay. Okay. And this is all I'm gonna be doing with this for a while. So what I'm gonna do I don't know why I had to resize that. That works. What I'm gonna do is put this podcast on. Don't know if anybody remembers Blue Please with Total Biscuit.
It appears we are being besieged by a lot of players. I know, Father. What should we do?
But
our cruisers cannot repel role-playing of this magnitude.
Well, we're gonna get past the copyright parts.
Has been allowed on the air with the giant badger.
There we go. The not as copyright part.
Yes, indeed, folks. So welcome to Blue Please here on WoW Radio.
Yeah, terrible mic quality.
Sunday, the European time slot.
Back then.
Apologise for the delay in getting the broadcast on the air. That usually doesn't happen. But you can blame the shaman in our guild who decided, well, we want to do a 5-man Scolo, and I would like to do my epic quest. Now, he didn't mention anything about 15 green corrupt spirit elites spawning right on top of our priest, did he? No, of course he didn't. Oh dear. Anyway, yes, that was the fun of today, and this is the fun of now. This is the Blue Please show here on WoW Radio. Now, those who haven't tuned into the show before, and I know that's quite a few of you, this is basically 2 hours of me talking about World of Warcraft, a little bit of music, and some comedy features. Now, I've been in a bit of a rush today, unfortunately, because we've had some issues, which has been known to happen from time to time. We get a big lot of drama, a lot of conspiracy, etc. This week, it is our proposition for an RP/PvP guild. Now, I'm going to have to address this very carefully. I'm well aware at this point that I've been put into a position that I don't wish to be in. One, and firstly and foremost, let me point out that I never came up with the idea for a RP/PvP guild, and I'm not the guild leader. In fact, I won't even be playing as anything more than a casual observer. I expect I won't be getting any higher than level 20 or 30. But anyway, RP/PvP. Now, the position I've been put into right now is that I could potentially piss off a hell of a lot of people. I'm not the sort of people I usually aim to piss off.
I don't know why it was walking away.
Why I don't mind pissing off morons and blackguards. In this case,
What do you say?
These people are not morons or blackguards at all. They are
Oh,
people
blackguards.
who wish to defend their way of playing from morons and
That
blackguards.
old British way of talking.
Which is, of course, exactly what this show has always been about.
It's scary
condemning
sometimes.
Morons and blackguards. So, the theme is morons and blackguards. Now,
He shouldn't say it like that. He shouldn't have said it like that.
Again, as you already know,
He's dead. He can't help it now.
intends to create a RP/PvP guild on the RP/PvP server, which of course does not yet exist. Now, Vishtar, who I have been informed is a so-called community leader of the RP community, widely accepted as such, created a thread entitled Disaster, the WoW Radio Guild destroying RP. Okay, bit melodramatic there. And that would, to be honest, my first problem with that in the first place. There is no need for melodramatic antics on the forums, because you should know by now, if you are attempting to keep morons and blackguards out of your community, the last thing you want to be doing is creating a mountain out of a molehill and allowing them to latch on to this point and create even more hassle for you and for our community. So, his post reads as follows. It has come to my attention that the WoW Radio is planning to create a guild on the new RP PvP server. I've seen their forum threads and I am shocked. From the looks of it, they do not intend to RP and they plan to power level. For them, it's just a new server to get to 60 and try to be number 1. They don't understand that they are standing in the way of good RPers and are planning to ruin people's fun. Now, one thing I really don't like on this show are assertions. And that is most certainly an assertion. As our manager Apple has pointed out, the idea that we do not intend to RP on an RP server is totally ludicrous. After all, why would we join an RP server when there are infrequent intervals PvP servers released that we could quite happily go and zerg power level and be, quote, number 1? You will in fact find that the majority of the WoW Radio staff have the opinion that it's not all about being number 1. And in fact, Blue Police has condemned the whole attitude of joining new servers in order to be number 1 time and time and time again. Of course, if you've listened to this show, you would be aware of that. Now, he goes on to say that from very good sources that I have, whatever those sources may be, I know that they intend to be power leveling like crazy to get control of the server. I don't know what source exactly our good friend Vishnu is being informed from, but I can certainly tell you that that is not the case.
Oh, you cunts.
Level 60 in 7 weeks is not power leveling by any stretch of the imagination. Not at all. Now, whether or not players on RP servers are not used to faster quote-unquote leveling, I do not know. I don't play RP. I'll admit that for now. And I will come on to the reason for that a little bit later on. However, back to the point at hand. This good source, I'm not entirely sure what this good source is apparently not a very good source at all, because they've managed to get it completely and totally wrong. Let's look at this from a logical perspective again. If a large group of people wish to move to a server that was specifically a new rule set, the chances are that the reason they were interested in joining this server was because they were interested in following that rule set. RP PvP. It must also be pointed out at this point that RP PvP is a new rule set, and it's not something that any of you have played before.
Surprised it was that easy as a warlock.
Warcraft. There are these taboos and these unwritten rules, as some people would claim, do not
I'm a little offended. I've been playing a warrior this whole fucking time, and its leveling is trash.
Now, on previous Blue Polices, I've made it quite clear that I do not agree with the idea of
But warlock leveling is like super fucking easy.
Designed would attract the very people who Vishnu is condemning and accusing us of being. I'm not the only person to think that. Admittedly, in WoW Radio there are people with differing views, and that is what makes the world go round. However,
fuck differing views.
It has to be said that people do have the same attitude as I do, that RP PvP will attract the wrong kind of player. So again, back to the point. The post. I have some examples of their intended names. Now, there's a bunch of names here. And some of them are really quite ridiculous. That most people are not going to be following the names that they put down on there. A lot of these names, in fact, have been confused by someone obviously looking at this forum and thinking, that's their name, that's what they're going to use. No, it isn't. That is, in fact, their RP username. Devil's Angel, for instance, Raven, for instance, Mygor, Satirist, are all IRC usernames. They are not RP names. And the accusation that I have a problem with here is they intend to be regular elite kiddies who ruin RP servers. That, my friend, is defamation. That is an assertion that is based on absolutely no factual basis at all.
Okay.
Now, if you wish to be taken seriously, as I assume you do, because you're obviously quite passionate about this, I would suggest that you do not accuse people of things without backing up your arguments. So far, your arguments have been based on conjecture and inaccuracy. And that is unfortunate, because if you do wish to be taken seriously, then I would suggest you base it on something a little more solid. Now, although their leaders seem to be a little more respectful of the RP environment, their members seem like regular non-RPing people. That's because they are regular non-RPing people. They wish to try an RP server because they wish to try RP. That's the concept of it. That's the reason I'm playing and intend to play as well. Because I have not played on an RP server in the context of World of Warcraft before. As far as role-playing goes, I've been role-playing for the past 10 years. Dungeons & Dragons and Middle-earth role-playing being my chosen games. And of course a little bit of real-life, live-action role-playing, just to win a few more geek points. However, he goes on and on and on. And he makes an appeal to the RP community to stand up against the infidels.
Like Tanamojo, Tanatard.
Overreacting
Nice.
and somewhat blown out of proportion in my
And
opinion.
accurate.
Of course, that is only my opinion.
And mage.
What I would suggest to this person and to those following this person, as inevitably they will, is that you cannot have a closed elitist community.
Hey.
Community
Shitty rare mob.
on new blood.
That like spawns back to back sometimes.
And I'm afraid that you have only limited choices whereas it comes to your new blood on an RP PvP server. Some of the people who are going to join your server are going to be losers. They are not only going to be losers, they're going to be cads.
Oh well.
However, these people are, in general, not going to join en masse. They will join of their own accord to cause trouble. And unfortunately, there is nothing you, the RP community, can do about it because you do not have the power to do so. The GMs are supposedly in control of this and should be enforcing RP rules. Now, this has been covered by our resident role-playing expert, Medros, who has been role-playing and doing a show about role-playing for the past year. The Blizzard does not actively enforce its role-playing policies, and that is unfortunate. I would have to say that if there were a server, and there is, RP, that does not have hard-coded limits to enforce its rule sets in the same way that PvE and PvP do, then you require a human element with authority that is able to do so. Since Blizzard are not providing that, I would suggest that you aim your criticism in their direction. Now, despite assertions and accusations to the contrary, while we are a, quote, fan, unquote, site, we are not the kind of group of people that will pander to Blizzard's every whim. No, not at all. We do intend to be a reasonably independent outlet for WoW information and critical opinion. And in this case, I would have to seriously accuse Blizzard of not perhaps handling RP enforcement correctly. Because had they done it in the first place, they may not have got the degree of paranoia and skepticism that we are now receiving on the WoW forums. And I think it's very unpleasant. Now, I do not necessarily agree with the way that Vishnu has put across his opinion, although
Jesus, these fucking drop rates are atrocious.
In my opinion, his post is overreactive, it is melodramatic, and quite frankly, it has gone above and beyond reason. However, I do understand his concern. Let me make this expression openly to the RP community listening right now and listening in the archives. WoW Radio are not the people you need to be worried about. Your enemy is the large group of Zerglings hiding in the shadows who have not made any effort to organise a guild which has a genuine interest in the RP PvP rule set. These are the Zerglings hiding in the shadows who...
Oh, they reset my
very
fucking keybinds too, these fucking assholes.
They join and make fools of themselves and attempt to ruin your experience. So I would suggest that you take your guns and you aim them in the direction of those who are genuinely threatening your way of life, rather than those who simply want to be part of it.
God damn.
Now, I've attempted to address this issue as best I can. Athalos, our manager and leader of the RP Guild, I am not leading the RP Guild, before anyone asks. Some people seem to have this crazy idea that I'm leading the RP Guild. That is not true. Athalos is. So, I would suggest that you read his reply, which has been set up in a separate thread to avoid what I see as overreaction and melodramatic attitudes from certain people. You read the thread and you address his concerns, and we will address your concerns. Speaking of addressing concerns, coming up after the musical break, I'm going to be talking more about RP in World of Warcraft and my understanding of role-playing in general, from a decade's experience of Dungeons & Dragons, Middle-earth role-playing and live action. However, I'll tell you what's coming up in the rest of the show. As usual, we have Working As Intended, the section where we get the brain power of the Blue Please listenership together and try and solve problems that Blizzard has not necessarily managed to do yet.
These drop rates are gonna suck ass too, right there.
A continuation from last week of our epic saga, and the Ask along with Himself of the Week, and all the regular talk. So, let's get on the musical break, and after the break we'll be discussing RP in World of Warcraft. Is WoW suited to that particular playstyle, and what perhaps could it do to improve it? However, someone made a comment earlier in the pre-show that I was doing a thrash metal showcase. Totally incorrect. However, if you want the thrash metal showcase, that's exactly what I'll give you. It's a classic. You should all know it. It's Slayer, it's Raining Blood, it's Blue Please on WoW Radio.
You're listening to the podcast and archive of Blue Please. You can listen in live on Sundays at 17:30 GMT. That's 12:30 Eastern Standard Time, with a lively musical pre-show kicking off 1 hour beforehand. If you like WoW Radio's productions, then make sure to dig our shows at dig.com and check out our website at www.wcradio.com.
God, this is a fucking old ass episode.
Yes, indeed. The sounds of Evil Horde, Angamageddon. That was, of course, E1M1, taken from the Doom soundtrack. That is, in fact, a remix. And if you want to get hold of that along with the entire Doom soundtrack remixed, then head over to ocremix.org. Is it .org? Yes, I believe it is. ocremix.org, which has various remixes of, well, pretty much everything. Right, you are listening to Blue Please here on WoW Radio, and we've got a bit of controversy out of the way, I would hope. Please note that the opinions of myself and the Murloc do not represent the opinions of the management of WoW Radio or any other part of WoW Radio, and all that jazz. Yeah. So unfortunately I have to disclaim things these days. People will simply impute that perhaps you are speaking for everyone, when in fact it's blindingly obvious that all you're doing is expressing your opinion. Now, some people express the opinion that my editing of a reply on our forums, which are of course our jurisdiction, as you may be aware, to the RP PvP issue was infantile and uncalled for. I would argue, no, it was not. What was infantile and uncalled for was flooding the forums with concerns that we are already well aware of, and we have been made aware of. Perhaps you think that we haven't seen the threads on the official forums. You would be incorrect in that assumption. It is, in fact, only a game issue. You should not be stressing or, in fact, harassing WoW Radio members, which is what some of it is beginning to turn to the stage of. Take the joke and move on. Right, okay, back to the matter at hand. We were discussing RP and the potential threats of the RP PvP server. Now, when I first heard about the RP PvP server a number of Blue Pleases ago, what was it? Maybe a month or even 2 months ago, I described it as a really stupid idea. And the reason for that was, of course, that it would attract people who would simply play it as a PvP server, or perhaps would faux roleplay, as I like to call it. I am the mighty Atharius, the ganker of Doom. I shall go forth to slay all the noobs, etc. That is your backstory. You are a psychotic evil ganger of doom, and then you get 5,000 rogues with the same backstory. And the same character. Not a good thing, it really isn't. Now, RP PvP cannot work unless the rules themselves are enforced, because you are putting trust in an overall community that does not deserve it. The RP community is a sub-community of the WoW community, and of course, it is well capable of doing what it does best, and that is to roleplay. In what I view as rather restricted ways of doing things. As far as I'm concerned, the game itself is not as suited to role-playing as I would personally like, and that is the reason I did not originally join a roleplay server. The game has become more popular than it should have. Now, you may think that's a silly thing to say. Of course, success is what a commercial enterprise, such as WoW Radio, should be aiming for. WoW Radio? Not WoW Radio, World of Warcraft itself. Oh dear, only 30 minutes into the show and I'm already blithering. Fantastic. Anyway, back to the point. It is a commercial enterprise, and therefore it was designed to be successful. The problem with success is that you bring in morons. And you can see this all over the forums. It's full of idiots. The game is full of idiots. Every day you log on to World of Warcraft, you have no doubt experienced an idiot in some
Okay, we'll go down there.
Perhaps he is begging for gold, in caps. In the Yell channel, perhaps he's looking for group in the trade channel. Perhaps he is simply an abusive, egotistical, self-centered moron who deserves a slap around the head with a half-brick and a sock.
Yeah, hey, Frog.
But idiots exist, and that's
how you
the
doing
reality,
this evening?
I'm afraid. They exist in all web communities. They exist in all walks of life. They are idiots. So is there anything you personally can do to prevent these idiots spreading, breeding?
Yeah, you're alright. That's good to hear. Glad to hear that.
Because you do not
I'm
have
pretty
control.
decent. I finally got some
And if you
fucking
do not have
weed,
the
so
control,
I'm a little happy.
You can't do anything about it. People with the control are
So, you know,
unfortunately not doing enough about it,
can't
in my
complain
opinion.
too much.
When you take
I
a
can
game
complain
like
about how
this,
laggy this
you
shit
have
looks
to
on
assume that
OBS.
everyone who plays it is the worst, most abusive, cheating, hacking bastard that you will ever meet in your life. You should be assuming this with every single person. Never assume that a person is a good person, because in general they are not.
But yeah, it is pretty good.
So
For now.
it is,
Until
in
I
fact,
smoke it all.
guilty until proven innocent.
Until I lose
Honestly,
it all. Until future me smokes
It's
all of it for
unfortunate.
some fucking reason.
I remember years and years ago I used to be an optimist. When it came to web
You know,
things,
future
I
me is a
used
real
to
dick about
assume
my
that
weed. I don't know
everyone was
what
innocent
it is
until
about
proven
him.
guilty. I learned, unfortunately, in the online gaming community that is not the case. And while there are a lot of extremely sensible, likable players, they are drowned out
Yeah, we
by
keep
the
going
voices
down.
of what is arguably
Do
the vocal
these two,
minority,
turn them
but
all in, and listen
some
to the
people
voice
even
acting.
believe it's the vocal majority. These are the idiots, the morons,
Eventually.
and they are in your community.
And yeah, up here, I got a fucking
So if there are idiots and morons,
podcast
and
playing.
you cannot do anything about it, then how
Be
did this
right back.
situation arise in
Alright,
the first
I'll be
place?
here.
And what are you supposed to do? Well, the reason this situation has arisen is because you have
That
a
way.
system that is not hard-coded.
Hmm.
Now, even hard-coded systems, people will attempt to bypass from time to time. But
Yeah, well.
non-hard-coded systems are far more at risk of this very practice. I think the biggest example I can think of in World of Warcraft is in fact the RP rule set. Not enforced, not hard-coded, difficult to regulate. Therefore, people will inevitably say, no, I will rage against the machine. I'm 13 years old, I listen to Linkin Park. I am going to disobey my parents and everyone else. Haha, you can't do anything. It's the internet, I can do anything I like. I can make an ass out of myself and annoy people. No. It is not acceptable, but unfortunately, the only people who can do anything about that are Blizzard. You can condemn a person all I like, but unfortunately some people are there specifically for that condemnation. They feed off it. By condemning them, they believe that you are irritated by them, that they have gotten to you.
Ah, shit.
Fortunately, of course, simply ignoring them doesn't help matters either. They may be attention whores, but then again, they may not. They may be slightly smarter than the average bear. They may be aware that the idea of simply ignoring someone until they go away does not work.
Go away.
And that they are getting to you. And they obviously are, because there are so many threads and so many professions of people saying,
oh my god.
I am not happy with the way this community is going. And there's nothing I can do about it. And that makes me feel powerless and irritated. And I would have to agree with that particular viewpoint. Who's responsible? Of course the idiots are responsible. They're responsible for their own action. You can't blame anyone specifically except them for their own action. But who are responsible for not necessarily enforcing the rules as harshly as they should? That is, of course, Blizzard. Now, I like Blizzard. I like the games they produce, and I love World of Warcraft. That is the reason I'm sitting here right now, when I could be doing something else, rather than broadcasting to all you lovely people about this game that I do love. So, Blizzard are responsible for not enforcing the rule set correctly. But it goes deeper than that. It does indeed go deeper than that. I recall back in my youth, I used to be... That isn't accurate. I still am a self-professed and a proud geek. I shall be, hopefully until the end of my days. It's fun. And it's great.
Well, I mean, I guess that was one thing that remained true.
I think that activities such as role-playing, playing board games, battle games, video gaming, owning geeky things, watching Star Trek, all that kind of thing, owning a lightsaber, are things which shouldn't be done. They're not acceptable in normal society, and they should be hidden. They are taboos. They should be underground, repressed activities. And it disturbs them that someone is willing to profess them openly. This is a very conservative society. Even though some people may say otherwise, they are scared of new things. They fear what they do not understand. Geek culture is one of those things. They see it as an infringing threat on their normal, everyday, quote-unquote lives.
There he is in there.
I did used to RP quite often, but not with video games. I initially started to RP with pen and paper. Dungeons and Dragons. The classic. The undefeatable. Get out your D20s now, folks. It was brilliant. I loved it. As I got older, I changed the way I played my character, but I would always have a backstory. I would always flesh out my character and attempt to act within it. I've always thought that one of my particular strengths is the ability to be creative, and hopefully that makes up for my so many flaws. And that's why I was quite good at role-playing. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it immensely. As I got older, I changed my persona from a sneaky, untrustful rogue to a flamboyant, drunken, and lovable dwarf. And to assist my RPing, I would actually get drunk in the process, and it was great. We would play Dungeons and Dragons in the pub. Fantastic. Later on, I joined a game called Moom, Multi-Users in Middle-earth, one of the original multiplayer role-playing video games. It was, of course, a Telnet MUD, multi-user dungeon. While RPing was not enforced, it was encouraged. And people did so. And rightly so. Based in Tolkien's world, it was an amazing game. Very well written, but exceedingly difficult. Required a lot of time and dedication. And I think it would be a disrespect to Tolkien to in fact act in any other way as is congruent to his particular way of storytelling. The idea is that you are part of the story, not simply some nonsense entity outside it, playing for fat loots. Now in that game, there was a lot of facility for that. No one specifically had the aim of getting fat loots, because in general, fat loots did not really exist.
Wish I actually had more buffs.
Fat loots.
Or buffs at all.
Usually random drops, or created
Or
by
something.
those things. The goals in the game
Mages are cool
were
like
not
that.
particularly specific. You made your own story. if I was to make war on the orcs, then I would do so. If
Star
I wish
Foxy.
to slay Urukai, I would do so. If
Some
I
nice
wished
of them.
to go outside Fornost or Bree or any other number of towns and slay the surrounding bandits for the good of the land, I would do so. That is RPing, in essence. Doing something not for the reward, but for the sake of it. The enjoyment you gain from RPing and role-playing
Oh,
itself,
wait. I need to kill
the
humans.
idea of a continuing story, a story which you yourselves are part of, and it is immersion. Immersion which I think has been forsaken in recent video gaming titles, especially role-playing games. They're called role-playing games, but they're not role-playing games. How much role-playing went on in Diablo 2?
Wait.
And how much of the community, in contrast, were power gamers? How many hackers were there in Diablo 2? And was it the game itself that encouraged such an attitude? It's certainly possible that both Diablo 2 and World of Warcraft have encouraged an attitude which is not the way it should be as far as role-playing goes. The game systems itself,
Really?
for instance, the way that mobs are spread out in grindable groups.
I just need one more fucking
Where the
ring.
quests
Give me
are
the
not
ring.
necessarily linked. And of course the way that things respawn. Obviously that is a mechanic of MMORPGs, but perhaps it is a weakness in the way that how can you justify and feel satisfaction from slaying Baron Rivendare for the cause of the Argent Dawn and the good of the land and for the memory of those killed in the Stratton Massacre, when he'll just be back the next time you go into the instance. I think perhaps it is the game itself.
Yeah, right back to
which
Brill. It's
is
right over the fucking hills
RP,
here.
And I'm aware that
It's a lot closer than I thought it'd be.
RPs do have a job on their hands to maintain an immersive RP
Sweet,
environment.
it's a lot of
against
quests to turn in.
the background of a game, which in fact encourages in places power leveling and competitive play.
Do I play a
I
Morrowind?
think this is going to be very
What
prevalent
the
on the
fuck?
RP PvP servers, and that is, in ways, unfortunate. It is unfortunate that the way the original RP servers were designed did not allow Warcraft itself to happen.
Fucking
And now
Zeppelin falling off
built
ass.
substantially, and we are not used to this idea of RP PvP. The idea that RP PvP may suffer greatly at the hands of malcontents and miscreants within this community. I would say to the RPers and all those who are going to be involved, including myself and the WoW Radio Guild, that this is something that should not be allowed to happen. Against the background of a game which does not necessarily encourage role-playing and systems which do not pander to role-playing attitudes, we need to stand fast and play the game and role-play in the classic style. Off my soapbox, rant over. Okay, after the break, you will be hearing from the likes of Working As Intended, Ask the Murloc, Rap in the Forums, and back to our usual
Oh god.
content on this show,
Rap in
dealing
the
with
forums.
various issues from the European community, hot topics, idiots, morons, and the like. You're listening to...
Okay, now first.
What are you looking for?
Yeah, first we're gonna listen to some dialogue.
Remember, patience. Varen Mathras would be proud. You serve your leaders well, adventurer.
Cool.
Trust no one.
I don't.
Captain Perrine's death will undoubtedly please the Dark Lady. You have performed your duty well, adventurer. We are still at war, and the Scarlet Crusade grows in strength. The report Executor Aaron sent me indicates Scarlet Crusaders have been raiding from the ruined tower in southeastern Tirisfal near the Balnir farmstead under the command of Captain Vashon. Kill Vashon along with 5 Scarlet Friars. It should prove to be a devastating blow to the Crusade.
Okay.
Embrace the shadow.
Sounds fairly devastating. Friars, I mean, hey. Who's gonna... officiate a wedding
The scales are perfect, adventurer. Exactly what I needed for this concoction. While you were out gathering, I uncovered some old text in one of my tomes that indicates that an ancient plague wiped out thousands of
Kush
innocent
Lords,
victims.
nice.
Later, it was discovered that the deadly agent in the plague was preserved through the venom of nightweb spiders. Bring me some venom from a vicious nightweb spider to complete this experiment. I want to see if the contagious element from the venom will work with my new concoction. Rumor has it, the spiders can be found in eastern Tirisfal glades. Trust no one.
Alright, Eastern Tirisfal. Yeah, we got the Doomweed. No, it's someone else up here. Who's this?
What are you looking for? Your efforts in the war are felt among us, adventurer. I will not thank you for doing what is necessary, but the Death Guards of Tirisfal will remember your name. Watch your back.
Among Us. Okay, yeah. Holland is up here somewhere. What the fuck is with this? Like, I can't capture... I don't know, maybe it'd be easier to capture VLC player? But I'd have to load the fucking... I'd have to load every link I wanted to watch onto that fucking thing.
The shadows beckon.
Ah, my Doomweed.
Hey,
Excellent.
my
These will
Doomweed.
come in quite handy. You've done me, the lady, a fine service today, adventurer. As promised, here is the reward that you deserve.
Thank you. Man, I only got a silver and some odd for a fucking dime bag of gloomweed. You gotta be fucked up. Any of these gravestones readable? No. Fucking alive people. Yeah. Okay, let's go turn this in here. Whichever ones this happens to be.
What now? Expertly done, adventurer. The Scourge are mistaken if they think they can use those corpses against us. And the fluid you gathered from the wrought-hide slaves will be studied by our apothecaries. It may have secrets we can use against them. As I said, well done. But our struggle continues, and the conflict will surely offer you more chances to prove your worth to the Forsaken.
Cool.
Remember, patience.
And then you still gotta do that.
I need a fresh report from our Death Guard way station to the east.
Okay.
I must know if more Scourge forces have slipped past the bulwark and into Tirisfal. Our vigilance on the border to the Plague Lands must be maintained. We can't let the Scourge get a stronger foothold here. Travel south along the road, then east at the fork to the way station. Speak with Death Guard Linnea. She has the information I need.
Okay, good for you.
Bethor Ishard, a high-ranking and powerful mage in the Undercity to the south, commands me to send him an agent with proven worth against the Scourge. You, adventurer, will be that agent. Present these orders to Bethor. He will then instruct you on your mission.
Okay.
I don't know its details, but it deals with recruiting a wayward lich. And it will be dangerous. So ready yourself, adventurer. You must not fail. You may find Bethor in the magic quarter of the Undercity.
Dark Lady.
What was that inhale about? He had something else to say. Let him say it. Let the man speak. Fuck.
I have exactly what you need.
No, you don't. You have a penis? Let's get rid of everything I definitely don't need. I don't care for Slumber Sand. Well, you know what? Maybe I can use that in PvP and fuck with people. Be funny. That's a staff. Still can't use staff. Okay.
Embrace the shadow. I have exactly what you need. Dark
No, you don't.
watch over you.
Upstairs you be? Yes, upstairs.
What do you require?
Yeah, maybe.
Embrace the shadow.
Embrace the shadow!
And you are.
There, yeah, that's a little better.
I appreciate your efforts, adventurer. May Sylvanas recognize your bravery one day. What is it? I appreciate your efforts, adventurer.
Okay.
May Sylvanas recognize your bravery one day.
Yeah, I turned it up a little too much. That was a little too loud even for me. So, yeah.
It's wise that you humble yourself before me, adventurer, in your desire for more warlock knowledge.
I do need that. No. Yeah, it's nothing. Health funnel. Don't need it right now. Yeah. Well, yeah. That'd be useful. Might as well. Yeah, yes on the Shadow Bolt.
Goodbye.
And of course they don't fucking update by themselves. On my warrior they do, but here they don't for some reason. Yeah. For now. Cool. That is rank 2. Good.
Adventurer, I just received word from Karandine Halgar that he would like to see you for further training. You should be proud of yourself, adventurer. It's not every day that Master Halgar personally sees fit to instruct a young warlock. You'll be able to find him in the magic quarter of the Undercity, near the Temple of the Damned.
Damned. Temple of the Damned. Why did you say it like that? Damned. Okay, dude. Whatever. Temple of the Damned. Well, we'll go over there then. We check the mail. Oh, look at that. My warrior sent me shit. Cool. Okay, I do want to go get my Void Walker. I really want to go get that. I need to go get that. I'm level 13. So we'll go fucking venture on in there.
Blue, please. Here.
While I do that,
Wow Radio.
and listen to this. In the
Would you like
meantime,
some folk metal? I'm sure you would. This is Finn Troll. It's
Yeah.
Ellie Trez.
You're listening to the podcast and archive of Blue Please. You can listen in live on Sundays at 17:30 GMT. That's 12:30 Eastern Standard Time with a lively musical pre-show kicking off 1 hour beforehand. If you like WoW Radio's productions, then make sure to dig our shows at dig.com
Gidget?
and check out our website at www.wcradio.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, do not be alarmed. A cynical Brit has been allowed on the air with a microphone. You will listen, or the kitten we have hostage will be forced to fight a giant badger. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Blue Please. Enjoy. Wow.
Radio.
Oh dear, I think our resident tech lead,
what the fuck?
well of course Blizzard Europe, didn't like that song. What a shame. Unfortunately, it's nothing short of therefore it must be played. Fintroll, fantastic band, folk metal from Finland,
Yeah.
but they do sing in Swedish. And no, I shall not be attempting to speak Finnish, Swedish, or any other your crazy moon languages at any point in this show. Alright, you are listening to Blue Please here on WoW Radio, the cynical Brit ranting for no apparent reason at all. The theme of this show has been RP, and it will continue in some respects to be so, but it will not be dedicated to role-playing. That's Medros's role. Hey!
There
see
we
what you
go.
did there? On Wednesday, that's Know Your Role. Okay. Now, we did get our battle plan. We've seen a battle plan once before, released by Blizzard, and we've had the number 2. It has been released on the forums for those of you who've read it. And it's got some exciting things in it.
Wonder.
And the first of those will, of course, be that the first public showing of the expansion for World of Warcraft will be at BlizzCon. Fantastic. I'll be at BlizzCon, and I shall be saying, hoo-hoo, that looks nice. And hopefully it won't be full of complete crap. But I would trust that Blizzard will address the concerns of the community in this expansion. So, what has it got in it? For those that don't know, it's going to be containing a variety of things. Of course, you're going to be getting more content. More quests, more weapons, more dungeons, and all that sort of stuff. And there is, of course, the possibility, or so the BlizzCon website did say, or maybe I was on crack at the time, I can't remember. Let me see, blizzcon.com.
Yeah, crack.
Not disorganized or anything here. BlizzCon.com, there we go.
We'll find a mailbox eventually.
And there was the possibility
Finally got a
that
weapon.
this expansion would contain hero classes. Hero
Okay.
classes have been a very popular article of discussion on the
Thank
show, and
fuck.
of course on the forums. And the possibility of progressing your character beyond the bounds of level 60 into something wholly different has been a very exciting one for myself and many others, I'm sure. But yes, the battle plan consists of a variety of things, and they are talking about raid content. More dungeons. Now, last week I addressed the concept that maybe they weren't
There it
going
is.
in the right direction when it came to dungeons.
Yeah.
In that perhaps adding simple...
I can mute that a second.
This had better be good.
Good. I see Ageron managed to find you, adventurer. Let us waste little time with small talk and pleasantries and focus on your training. There is still much you have to learn. It seems the consensus that you are ready to learn to summon a Voidwalker.
Yeah?
A being created of the chaos that lies beyond. If you summon one but cannot control it, you will be torn asunder. The first Voidwalker was summoned by Eagelin, and in his grimoire is the process explained. Unfortunately, it was stolen from us by an agent of the Scarlet Crusade who has it secreted away in his base at a tower to the west. Bring it to me, and I will impart the knowledge to you.
Okay.
Beware the living.
Go get it from the west. I could do a soul broker. I see the soul of the one who is wanted, the soul of the one who is innocent. Widows of me and be handsomely rewarded. What the fuck are you talking about, bruh? Okay. Well, then to the west, so back over here. Goddamn. Okay. I wanted. Nah, it'd be even longer. Alright, back to the podcast.
more and more and more dungeons that work in exactly the same way, that are harder and harder and harder, and all that's going to require is you to find the strategy and execute it to perfection in order to succeed. Is that a way that people want the game to go? I don't know. Personally, while I do like the idea of having more dungeons to shoot for and having more things ahead of me to keep me interested in the game, I don't necessarily think that simply adding more and more and more and more of these high-level 40-man dungeons that are progressively more ridiculous, as we saw in the Nefarian encounter. Yeah, that big dragon up the top of Blackwing Lair. Some guys have attempted it, and the video is ridiculous. Go and try and download it and just see how ridiculous it is. The amount of
How may I
ants
be
and
of service?
nasty damage that's being thrown out there. It's crazy, crazy talk. But then again,
Okay.
perhaps that was the way people first thought of Ragnaros. But then again, he did get nerfed. Whether or not that's the way to go is questionable at best, but I certainly would not object to having more content. Whether or not it's the way I want them to go is irrelevant. More content is good, because it gives people more things to do. And that means the community itself will hold itself together and hopefully not hold itself together through whining and misery, but rather through enthusiasm for new content and all of this new fat loot and encounters. At the end of the day, this is what MMORPGs have become, and moved away from the whole classic style of role-playing. Whereas the classic style of role-playing did involve taking out, say, a big dragon, getting some nice items. The experience itself was what really drove people to do it, not the fat items. And some people, I would have to say, do have the attitude that the fat items are the be-all and end-all of everything. And that is the reason that they will willingly exploit
That's funny.
parts of the game in order to obtain them.
Dumb but
It would
funny.
be naive and, in fact, completely untrue to suggest that people have not been exploiting this game in parts to obtain the items they wish. There have been various bugs with the Blackwing lair. There have been the issues of instance stealing with Molten Core. And, of course, the first ever kill of Anoxia was exploiting a bug in the way Anoxia worked. And it's unfortunate that people seem to have lost sight of the fact that they're supposed to be playing the game for fun and not for the fat loot. Having the fat loot does not make you a better person, I'm afraid. If you have somehow been fooled into believing this, I don't know, evil spirits or maybe a giant flying pig in the sky, no, it's not correct.
Couple times.
Well, I'm not going to dictate to you how you play. The original idea of games were for recreational purposes. They were for fun. And if that's not the reason you're playing the game, then really you should probably consider it a hobby. Because all you are, in fact, attaining are virtual items, intangible things that don't really exist and that don't belong to you. But anyway, back to the point at hand. The battle plan contains a variety of interesting topics. World events, which we have discussed in this show. That's another one of them. Now, it's good to see that they are wanting to add more dynamic interactions into the game, because right now I think the game is a little bit static, and it's at risk of becoming stagnant.
Yeah, okay.
Not good, not what you want to see,
Should be the
especially in a game
place.
you enjoy and have dedicated a lot of your time to. The world itself, it seems anything you do in the world is ineffectual. Battlegrounds, for instance. We don't even know who is winning the battlegrounds in general. Who has the supremacy in Alterac Battle? There is no system to tell us, and there is no reason, even if there were a system to tell us, to implement such a system without a result. Some kind of effect. And there isn't one. We don't get a citywide buff in Ogrimmar, which in Alterac Valley more than the Alliance do. We don't
Nice.
see changes in territory.
That will work.
No. It's the same every time we go in. And that's fair enough.
And is it a
Irrespective of
drop
what it
I'm
is.
looking
It
for?
is a battleground. It is designed for battle rather
Or is there
than
an item
designed for progressive
back
content.
there? Probably.
However, it feeds into this idea that World of Warcraft itself does not progress enough and could do with something to make the world a little more dynamic. Now, I understand the concerns of Blizzard and some people that if you were to make the world dynamic, it is possible that certain players would miss out on changes in content that already exists. Now, I'm not saying make quests that will simply cancel and delete themselves after that isn't fair on everyone else that wants to do that quest. Content should be equally available to all. The third one, of course, that you jump through the required hoops to get it. But just because
Better be
content
in
is
here.
available for all doesn't mean that world-changing events can't happen. You cannot make a world-changing event available to everyone. It is
Hey,
a simple
respawn
fact that
real
you will never
quick.
get all of WoW's community on at the same time, and you will never get them all wanting to participate in events such as this. But that's no excuse not to have them. Take, for example, Matrix Online, which, as many of you know, is a pile of wank. However, it did have a very good idea of integrating the game with the story of the Matrix in the same way that WoW is integrating the Warcraft story into itself. The problem and difference with that is that in the Matrix Online, there were world-changing events occurring, and even if people weren't able to attend them, they would still hear a lot about them. And I think that is half the battle. People that hear about them and know of this change, then they will be excited by a dynamic and progressing, ever-changing world. And at the moment, we don't have that. I accept that World of Warcraft is in its early days. Compared to EverQuest, it is late. And I don't believe it ever started with the intention of having a dynamic, progressive world. Instead, it started with the intention of being a very good MMORPG in the classic style. The fat loots, the big encounters, and the team play. And in that respect, it did very well. However, maybe it's time to progress it and evolve it into something not simply evolutionary, but revolutionary. A thought, perhaps. Something for you to mull over. Now, speaking of mulling over, what we do every show is we have a working as intended section. And we've got a little sound sample for it. And it goes a little bit like this. It's working, yeah, it's working as intended, baby. Yes. Now, a lot of people seem to find that disturbing, and I'm not entirely surprised. It is disturbing. Incredibly disturbing. But unless someone do a better sound sample, that's what you're stuck with. Here's the fact of the matter. Working as intended is designed to get the brain power of people
fuck?
flowing, as it were.
What is even
very
that?
intelligent, very creative people that listen to this show and WoW Radio and exist in this community in general, and they drive the community towards greater things. And while we love the game that Blizzard has created, we do not necessarily agree with all their changes, and that's what Working as Intended is all about. We try and think of alternative solutions to things that Blizzard may not necessarily have thought of yet, or may have done in a different way. Now, this week, it's about Montserrat Valley.
Oh, that's weird.
Many people have suggested and put forward the opinion.
I don't know
that
what the
Montserrat Valley
fuck that is. Explorer
necessarily
Imp? Huh.
as good as it could be. And they make comparisons to the old eternal ping-pong match of doom between South Shore and Tarren Mill, which of
Rest
course,
your
as
weary
you're well
bones
aware,
for
was
a
the
spell.
hotspot for PvP
Do
before
not
the
seek
battlegrounds
death.
were put into place. And there is indeed some PvP there still. Of course,
Weird.
the unfortunate backlash of that particular PvP battle was that Hillsbrad became inaccessible for those who were trying to do quests there, and that was unfortunate because it was quite a nice zone, and the quests there were enjoyable. That changed, and it's now gone into the battlegrounds. The problem with that is that the methods of organisation within World of Warcraft are perhaps not good enough to encourage a more tactical and strategic battle over the concept of a
I gotta see
tactical
what it does.
Zergfest, unquote. So, I want to hear your ideas. How would you improve the way that Ultirat Valley is not only designed, but the grouping and command coordination structures, of which of course there are very few, exist within the battleground itself? What would you do? How would you change Ultirat Valley to turn it into less of a Zergfest and more of an epic battle? Yes, I did say. You know you want to. So, if you have a suggestion of how you would improve Ultirat Valley, turn it into an epic battle rather than a tacticless Zergfest, as some people have professed
Okay.
they believe Ultirat Valley is, then email themurloc@gmail.com. That is themurloc@gmail.com with your suggestions, and they will be read out, so include your names. I'd like to welcome Fundgot, our community manager, who's chosen to grace us with his presence. And yes, the last time a community manager did join our IRC channel, I accidentally banned him. Sorry about that.
Lucky this time.
But yes, welcome to Fundgot. Hope you enjoy the show. Okay, for those who haven't listened to Blue Please before, we do contain and put put out these comedy features. Some people find them funny, some people think they're just totally rubbish. And that's fair enough. But some people enjoy them, and that's why they're there. And they exist to break up the show and make the show just a little bit different from a 2-hour rant fest. So, we have a section called Ask the Murloc. And we have a little sound sample for that too.
Ask the Murloc.
We have our own Murloc in the studio. He is not your ordinary Murloc. He's a high-class Murloc, and he doesn't like you. And he will be answering your questions right now in Ask the Murloc. Enjoy.
The Murloc.
Dear Murloc, how do you give gold to your other characters in the game? I didn't think you could. But I read that you could on another forum, but it didn't explain how. Please help.
Okay, we'll get back to that in a minute.
I am forsaken.
Ah, this is excellent. Like as not, Perrin was ignorant to the true power of the musty book he had stolen from us. It will not fall out of our hands again. Observe, adventurer, the structure of the spell, the manner in which your power must be channeled. Surely you have seen the circle of summoning below us. Only there will you be able to draw forth an unbound Voidwalker. Using these runes, you will be able to draw it forth, and then you must dominate it through strength of arms and magic. When it is subdued, it will be indentured to you. Come to me then, and I will elucidate the spell of summoning, so that it may serve you to whatever end you wish.
Elucidate? Bruh.
Victory for Sylvanas.
What the fuck does elucidate mean? I have no fucking clue. Okay. That was easy.
What is it?
You have done well, adventurer. Now, I will impart to you the spell used for summoning the Voidwalker. The power that it unleashed upon you is now yours to command. Use it wisely.
I may. Probably not. Let's see what name we get. Grakmon. Hey, Grakmon. Hey. Hey, he's a Grakmon. I like that. I really shouldn't do that.
Hello.
Ah, you are the agent sent by Magistrate Severin. Then yes, your business with me is crucial. I trust Severin has mustered someone suitable for my task, but we shall see.
Nah.
There is a lich who dwells on the island in Brightwater Lake to the north. Although he is a free-willed Forsaken, he believes all other undead are scourge slaves and has his minions attack anyone who approaches him. But because he is Forsaken, the Queen will want him, and if he is skilled in necromancy, then his knowledge would be quite useful to us. To discover his identity and his talents, I must see his spellbook, steal into his camp and acquire it, then return to me.
Okay.
Remember, patience.
I can do that. I need to go in here, I think. See what kind of, There we go.
Want to make your demons more powerful?
What I
It'll
can
cost
buy
you,
for
but
my
you've come
thing.
to the right place.
Nope, I only want to buy... No? Okay. That's
Embrace the shadow.
taunt is all he really needs.
You know enough to be dangerous, but you still look like you need training to me, adventurer.
Oh goddamn.
Farewell.
Okay. Well, we'll go then. We need to do that. Well, okay, nothing to track. Need to kill him. Eventually, we'll go to Silver Pine. Once we finish everything in the area. We'll get the spider venom. We'll go eventually go to the plague place. Not plague place, the crypt. But yeah, until then, we'll get on and listen to this.
Prepare for inevitable and painful doom, mortals, for it is I, the Murloc. Ha ha! My powers include dancing and, hiding things. Yeah. The method of transferring gold from one character to another is immensely complicated and requires powerful sorcery, much beyond your pitiful reach, you snivelling beanpole. However, for the sake of kindness, I will indulge you. Gold can only be transferred using a complex routine. Firstly, you must acquire 80 conjured crystal water. This can be usually obtained by opening a trade window with a 60 mage and saying, "Water, now!" The mage will no doubt acquiesce to your request and give you the water you desire. Then you must sell it on the auction house for an amount of money you wish to obtain. Ignore that dribble about not being able to sell conjured items. It is simply a trick designed to fool you into thinking that you cannot. To bypass this mere smokescreen, simply press Alt plus F4. This will transfer your gold. And your soul! Ha ha! Ask the Murloc.
Dear Murloc, where is the graveyard? I have heard many people talking about it, but can you tell me where it is? And what is the suggested level for it?
Oh, my dear, yes, I can take you to the graveyard, no problem at all. However, it is not somewhere that you can just walk into. No, it is a secret, magical place full of wonderful treasures just waiting for you and only you. First, you must take this sacred artifact. Yes, I know it looks like a brick, but really is a sacred, holy artifact of the mystical pie god. Place it inside the divine sheath. Yes, I know it looks like a sock. It is, in fact, the sacred garment worn by Uther Lightbringer himself. Now go to sleep as normal and leave the artifact next to your bed with your door unlocked. You may feel an unpleasant sensation, much like a severe concussion. This will be a small price to pay for a trip to the mystical graveyard. Ha ha!
Ask the Murloc.
Dear Murloc, what's the fastest way to make money in a short period of time?
Oh, good Lord, how many times have I been asked this pathetically easy question? The answer is simple, my gourd-bellied little codpiece. Sell your brain to science so they can work out why you're so ridiculously inept at everything you do. Yeah, now I must be off. Leave the Murloc in peace, you fools, before I leave you in pieces.
Ask the Murloc.
You're listening to the podcast and archive of Blue Please. You can listen in live on Sundays at 17:30 GMT. That's 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. With
I
a
am
lively
forsaken.
musical pre-show kicking off 1 hour beforehand. If you like...
Right. Okay.
Magistrate Severin wants a report. Very well. The defenders at the Bulwark are holding the majority of the Scourge at bay, but some do slip through on occasion. We have seen sporadic Scourge activity east of this station, with a concentration around the Balnir farmstead. Now return to Magistrate Severin with the information I gave you. We're wanted as soon as possible, so be swift. And if you see any Scourge on your way back, take them down. We can't let them wander our lands unchallenged. The defenders on the Bulwark protecting Tirisfal from the Plague Lands are on constant alert, but sometimes Scourge will slip past them. Our success at the Bulwark depends on a one-front battle. We cannot allow an attack from the rear, nor can we allow our defenders' supply line to be cut. Assist the Bulwark, patrol east and slay any Scourge you find. Spend particular effort at the Balnir farmstead to the east. It has become a haven for interloping Scourge. Watch your back.
Okay. Hey, the Skinner. That's what I wanted.
Our time will
Sweet.
come.
Be quick about your business.
Alright. Now I need to... Does she sell the knife?
And you
No.
are.
I thought maybe you could use a skinning knife to skin the fish, but no. Or fillet the fish, but I guess not. That's just too smart.
like WoW Radio's productions, then make sure to dig our shows at dig.com and check out our website at www.wcradio.com.
I apologise, the Murloc got loose during that song. He's usually confined to his cage. Unfortunately, he got out using a sort of MacGyver-style combination of a toothpick, 2 elastic bands, and a Linkin Park CD, and proceeded to wreak havoc on the old-school rap community. However, he is back in his cage, and we are back on Blue Please here on WoW Radio with Total Biscuit.
I haven't got all day.
Show itself today is going to be
Goodbye.
slightly shorter than usual, with the whole RP PvP business, and yes, unfortunately, when our community does come in under fire from a different community, we do have to stand up and defend it. And therefore
I am forsaken.
It is troubling to hear of the Scourge slipping past the bulwark. The Lich King and his minions are ceaseless in their assaults, but we will not give in. He will not take us again.
Victory for Sylvanas.
Okay. That's it? Bruh. That was not worth it. Holy shit. Whatever. Okay.
I just haven't had the time I wanted to prepare the show, so I apologise. It is going to be a little less organised and a
I
little
need to find level
shorter than usual.
5 to start skidding, I think.
But hopefully that'll be sorted out by next week. And of course, those listening from Europe, as hopefully there are many.
Do I?
We are getting a lot of listeners tonight, and that's always nice
It's
to
level
see.
6. Let's
There
see.
will be more European shows at European times. As you may be aware, Blue Fleet recently moved from a 12 midnight to 2 a.m. slot
Okay, level 6s are
to
fine.
this slot on a Sunday evening. And quite frankly, that's better for me and better for the Euro guys. And it's only fair, after all, being a Euro-centric show. Those of you who have missed parts of the show,
Yeah, it's up.
or
It's
missed
okay, cool.
this show in the future, can download the archive from wcradio.com. Those
Start
interested in
leveling
the
up
show and
skidding
any
a
other
bit.
shows that WoW Radio does produce, and that does constitute a large number of radio hours, folks. Head over to wcradio.com, click the archive button at the top. All new archives appear on the front page. It's all fantastic. So there are many, many hours of WoW-based entertainment right there, just waiting for you to download. Now, it wouldn't be a show if I weren't to get down on my knees and beg for money. And WoW Radio does fund itself, or tries to. It is paid for by a number of WoW Radio staff, mainly Apolis, it has to be said. And we attempt to raise money through donations, selling t-shirts, and the Warcraft Cafe Press store. If you wish and feel the need or the obligation to donate after tonight's show, then you can do so. wcradio.com. Click the donate/store button.
That's still recharging.
Whichever you wish. The store button will link you to the Blue Please album, which was released recently, which contains a massive amount of features from the Blue Please show and some exclusive stuff on there as well, and that is priced at a more than reasonable $8.
Oh, I failed to skid it.
And of course,
Oh,
there are
fuck
loads
me.
of WoW-related merchandise items.
keep
over at
forgetting
lots
this
of
could
different
happen.
products in the world of Warcraft store, and we get a portion
Catches
of
me
every
off guard
sale.
every fucking time.
Right, anyway, yeah, stop begging for money and all that stuff. Back to the matter at hand. We still have Rap in the Forums coming up, and it is a continuation of last week's Rap in the Forums. I'm not going to inflict last week's Rap in the Forums on you, but I will show you the post that it's come from. We have had some entrants for the Work As Intended. I knew you lot wouldn't let me down, you never do. So, let's get right on with it. The question this week was, how would you improve Alterac Valley? Now, this one comes from, quote, a panda, also known as Tristan Watson, and nice, short and sweet reply, make more game types with changing objectives. So, we're looking at a team deathmatch based thing here. Different objectives, different things to do, and not necessarily having the same thing over and over again. Okay, that's certainly a possibility. Jonas Shalonda, also known as Ionas, and I believe it might actually be his birthday. No, is it Ionas's or Ioid's in birthday? I think it is actually Ioid's.
Yeah.
Yes.
Turn that up just a bit.
Absolutely. Ioiid. There you go. I think it's his birthday today, and if it is, happy birthday to you, and no, I shall not sing it. The Murloc can sing it. Use your imagination, that was in fact happy birthday to you. Anyway.
It was, too.
Back to the point. Jonas Scholander, also known as INS, and yes, it is his birthday.
Keep forgetting.
Says to improve Alterac Valley to a more epic battleground, Blizzard needs to implement more quests and things to do. Doing these would spawn major assaults that would help you in some minor ways instead of the defensive crap that we are currently in. And that does bring up an interesting point that there are a lot of nice things in Alterac Valley that are not necessarily used, including the cavalry charges and the wing commanders. A lot of things that aren't necessarily used and really should. They are there to be used, and people would rather just get out, which is unfortunate. Now, David Cameron, also known as Jack Daniels, says, for an epic battle solution, a specific class and specific profession should have their own roles in the battle. For example, engineers should be able to collect specific components for siege weapons and ranged weapons. And the ability to make ranged weapons for the NPCs. This is a good point, because most of them don't have them, except the ones obviously on top of the battle towers. Another would be warriors would have to protect and defend wagons, which are crucial for the durability of the fort or the supplies for the NPCs. Good stuff. Rogue Lexi.
I just don't want the audio to be too loud over me, but not louder, or not have the game be louder than it. That makes sense.
Overhead map that the commander can use, or in this case the raid leader, for the map to give others objectives, waypoints, etc. This mode is also in Battlefield 2. I believe this would be a great thing to add to make tactics easier. Although from an RP view, I understand they didn't have GPS in the old days.
He's in the middle of the lake
True,
here.
They did not have GPS in the old days, but doesn't mean there weren't any messengers or things coming to the front lines and from the front lines with information of troop movements, etc., etc. So it doesn't have to be a live, updatable map with the locations of all the enemies on them. No, 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 no. Perhaps it could be time limited. It could be a messenger that will get to you, and perhaps you could kill that messenger and stop the information from getting to your players on the front line. Sokar, also known as Ian Pearson, says, I think AV needs something like the Savage Commander system to direct the different groups to an objective point. This would help having teamwork instead of zerging all the time. Also give the chance and the choice to listen to the commander and give honor rewards and make people want to listen to the commander. Yes, incentives are required, because in general, you will find that a lot of PvPers do have this attitude that they are God's gift to the realm and will not listen to anyone other than themselves because they think they are fantastic. Now, it doesn't matter if a commander is bad. It's better to have a badly organised but organised bad idea than have a simple Zergfest. A Zergfest in itself is a bad idea. An organised bad idea is better than an unorganised bad idea. At least you'll all fall together. That's the way it should go. I would agree with pretty much everything that has been said so far, but you still have time to get your suggestions in. themurloc@gmail.com. How would you improve the way that Alterac Valley is actually played? And I think it does involve a lot of coercion. A nice shove in the right direction for our players. Incentives are required. We tend to find that in games where there are no incentives for following the commander's viewpoint, they generally will not follow it. This includes Battlefield 2 as a prime example, where there is a commander system, but you will find that a lot of people will not get into squads and be involved in the commander system because they would rather run around on their own and get frags. Because they're racking up their kills. And it is unfortunate that perhaps the honour system is counterproductive when attempting to organise anything that isn't a Zergfest. In general, people would actually prefer a 4-hour stalemate because they can get more honour kills, even with diminishing returns, rather than a sweeping, decisive victory. Although they do get an honour reward for that. It's unfortunate, but that is the way that some gamers are going. I'm hoping the Arathi Basin is going to change that. You're not going to be able to zerg on this Arathi Basin. There are going to be 5 resource points to capture. But only 15 people at your disposal. Zerg 1 point after another, and you'll end up losing to the team that gets more points than you do. Yeah, you've got 1 point. Oh, we've got 4. You lose. GG.
Well.
Okay, thanks, bye. No reply.
What now?
And that's the way it works. And I hope that this is going to be a new
difficult.
beginning for the Battlegrounds.
That was dangerous as fuck.
It's not especially tactical, but I'd say it's certainly
Can't even
more
read
tactical than AV.
Yeah.
That's just simply the way capture the flag is. You can't do
Where are
a
these
Quake-style
pricks?
capture the flag where one person runs in, grabs the flag, and gets out due to skill.
Okay.
No, it is not a skill-based game. You do need your force organised and running towards a common
down here
goal in
more.
order to get that flag and get it to your headquarters.
Those spiders are
Gravity Basin is
somewhere
going to
over
be
here.
very interesting, and it'll be certainly a way to separate the men from the boys as far as strategy and tactics goes. Most definitely. I'm hoping it will be a new beginning for tactical PvP in World of Warcraft, because let's face it, did it ever really exist in the first place? Only in the respect of guilds who go and join AV en masse, and then WTF, pwn everybody because they are on TeamSpeak. But that is not because they are better strategists, that's because they are using some strategy.
Oh my
There's a phrase
god.
from a not so well-known
TeamSpeak.
short story that said, "In the country of the blind, the one-eyed man is king." That basically means if you're in a group of Zergless, leaderless morons, even the slightest spark of leadership, organisation and inspiration will win the day. And that is demonstrated over and over again by organised guilds on TeamSpeak who get into Ultra
He's
Valley
not dead, he's got
en
full
masse
health and
and
mana.
destroy the whole place over and over again. So is it a system-based problem? Maybe. Is it a person-based problem?
Further inspect it.
Maybe. There are so many different variables,
Huh?
and it's whether or not you can encourage people to play Battlegrounds in a strategic manner, rather than zerg about and on a farm,
Acolytes
which
note.
many are doing right now. It's a
Text
very
on the page
questionable
is
thing.
mostly soiled with
I
blood,
would
but you
ask
can
our
make out a
current
name.
players listening at the moment
Carradine.
how their Battlegrounds are playing. If you have a
Carradine.
comment on that, email
Okay.
monologue@gmail.com and I shall be reading it out on air. How are your Battlegrounds
So you gotta
playing?
find a Carradine now.
Do you play it in the way as intended?
Weird.
Do you go and
I
get
like
glowing
that.
commanders,
It's interesting.
fight bravely for the epic quests, and create a background story? Well, you don't even need to create a background story, there already is one. And fight in a battle-style manner rather than in a PvP style on a farming Zergfest manner. If you are an RPO and you do have extensive Battleground experience, or any Battleground experience at all, email themurloc@gmail.com with your experiences. I'd be interested to hear it, and no doubt the listeners would too. Now, another feature of this show is something we like to call rapping the forums. Some people don't like rapping the forums, and it's not entirely surprising because it's silly. It's a British
I
man
should probably
who
do
is
some of
rapping
this.
the forums. We take a terrible
First.
post and make an even worse rap out of it, simply to mock it for comic
Give some
effect.
time to
But it's not going
hack a
anywhere,
bowl.
so this
And
is
keep
continuing
listening
from
to this
last
shit.
week. We had a large post, which I'm going to post for you, if I can find it,
no room?
on the WC Radio chat channel, so that you can read along.
Fuck.
Oh dear, I can't find the post. That's unfortunate, but this is continued from last week, and if you do want to hear the way it was done last week, and the post that this continues on from, then download the Blue Please archive from last week. Okay,
Oh my god.
here we go, it's rapping the forums on WoW Radio. Cover your ears.
Last time on Rapping the Forums.
Fireworkers points because they broke my poof button. I am like, WTF, my Iwin button is broke, and he laughs at me. So I'm like, WTF, Pongy, I are a rogue, and I could pwn you with a pair of plastic safety scissors. And now, the conclusion. But he can't do nothing because I'm invisible. He can't see me, so he celebrates the occasion with more fireworks than I am telling my buddy John. This guy is odd. He is celebrating about me stealing his gun, and he's yelling like Pokey, you fucking noob, give me my gun back. So I get guarded, those rogues are uber, but he hacks. So I drop the gun and he run, but I shut the murder back. And I had those gunshots hurt and he get. honor from shooting me into backs. Then his finger wiggler named Anastasia come up and dances on my body. And I'm like, OMG, WTF, she is so hot. And she's like, hey baby, how would you like a little flask of mojo? And I'm like, no thanks, I like pie. So you're really a girl in Arville? She says, yup, with sexy blonde hair too. And I'm like, yeah, and chances are you're like 300 pounds and smell like sausage. And she's like, no, I don't smell like sausage. So I say, but you're 300 pounds. Anastasia is ignoring you. So I seize my gilded EK is in WSG with his wife, Mitsukai. And they are getting ponage cause they got no roads. And he's fighting like his mate. He's telling the guild, my wife is a sheep. And I'm like, you from Tennessee too? Right, then get this towel from back. And he says, Pokey, come join us in the molten core. And I'm like, dude, OMW, let me run to the bank and get my snowballs and super soaker. And he's like, huh? Well, just worry up. And I'm like, you're not the boss of me. So I get to molten core and realize I forgot my pants at the bank. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark. So people are making fun of my green snake. And I am like, he's just shy. And all the girls are laughing at me. So I unsummon my green water snake. And I summon my chicken instead. But I still got no
what the
pants.
fuck
And nobody
is
seems
even...
to notice. So while we're waiting for the raid to form up like, hey, June, I check out my epic mount. And she says, awesome. I'm sure I could use that epic mount right now. So I says, oh yeah. Where do you live? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. Jono is ignoring you. Then I hear this gunshot outside my house. And I'm like, WTF, but hillbillies be shooting for no reason. So I forgot about it in like 20 minutes. A ambulance comes to get my neighbors, and I tell Terraid I gotta go. AFK, my neighbor's got shot, and I'm gonna loot his house before his wife comes home. And they are like, WTF, Pokey, we're about to kill Lucifer, so I stay. So we fightin' Lucy, and she's got some planning to do, cause she's fight a lot. I was stabbing her with a beer bottle I got from a midget in a bar fight. All of a sudden the whole raid turns red, and then my enemies f***ing traitors. So I am like killing them all and yelling, you tricked me, and it scarred them, cause they all then turned to my side again. So I am like to can play this game, so then I get this idea, cause I like to think it's
okay, I'm in the right place.
So I saw my mechanically Yeti and help me pawn and he's like Leroy Jenkins and runs up and attacks this imp instead. Carl is like, Pokey, get your head out of your ass. Stupid noob Yeti, so I hits my poof button and disappears, and the imps are like pissed off and wipes the raid, and I live cause rogues are uber nest, so I'm so smooth. I can't believe I'm not butter. So my guild leader DK sends me a tell saying why I want the raid, and I am like, they attacked me, they all gone red. And he says, dude, you were mind controlled, and I'm like, no, I'm not. Them voices in my head do not control me. So he boosts me out of the guild.
That's still charging. We gotta be real quiet. You see, I'm speaking up as a night elf. I wouldn't want to hear me. Would you? We're here on WoW Radio. You're listening to Blue Please with the band Total Biscuit. Thanks for letting me stop by and sing a little.
He's almost dead too.
I'm a level 60. You're a level 2. That's not gonna stop me from annihilating you. Everybody wants me, but you're envious inside. I know you wanna kill me, but you know I'll skin your hide. 'Cause I'm the ganker, yeah, I'm coming for you.
I haven't heard this one for fucking ever.
'Cause I'm the ganker, yeah, I'm coming for you. That's right.
Okay.
The ganker, yeah, I'm coming for you. I'm the ganker and I'm coming for you. Yeah, and I'm coming
on down. Crack a cold one. First two. You better keep an eye out when you're in Asheville. 'Cause the second that you see me, you'll start to scream and wail. You'll probably run pretty quickly, but my epic mount will fly. So do me a favor, tell the spirit healer hi, 'cause I'm the ganker, yeah, I'm coming for you.
There we go.
Oh yeah.
Now that's an Instacast.
Oh yeah, baby, you know it. It's about time to send this baby home to bed. How about it? One more verse. Here we go. You're in the alliance. I am in the horde. I hope you don't mind if I see fit to cut your spinal cord. You know there's no escaping.
Bruh.
Nobody escapes, you see, when the ganker is in town. 'Cause I'm the ganker, yeah, I'm coming for you. I'm the ganker.
Good to know Blizzard still has never decided to fix this.
Ladies and gentlemen, do not be alarmed. A cynical Brit is being allowed on the air with a microphone. You will listen, or the kitten we have hostage will be forced to fight a giant badger. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a blue please. Enjoy.
Yes, this is more Eastern.
Wow.
So, have to go all the way over there just to do that shit.
Yes, indeed, the sounds of the ganker, the legendary brew guy there. And apparently he said that he would do the follow to his ganker song and record it completely naked. I don't want any kind of proof as to whether that happened. We'll just assume it did. Anyway, do please hear my Wild Radio with Total Ticket, and yes, it's going to be a shorter show than usual. Because of all this RP, PvP, uproar and all that kind of thing, I didn't have the time I wished to prepare this show properly, as we also had a problem in Scotland a little bit earlier with a certain shame, an epic quest that didn't really work out the way we planned. Never mind. Never mind. Hopefully I'll be back next week with a full-length show and properly prepared instead of rambling my way through 1.5 hours of complete gibberish. Maybe 2 hours of complete gibberish. Right. We have had some more suggestions for our working as a 10th section, and of course the idea this time is, how would you improve the Alterac Valley? So Royal Arcanist came up with this idea: put more power into the
One more of
NPCs.
each?
Right now they are an unorganized rabble.
Easy.
Well, that's kind of like the players now, really. And that lets themselves get killed while a massive Zerg of people penetrate their battle line. You should not be able to Zerg the valley and kill everything in 10 minutes. I think they need to put more importance into the NPCs, making the Zerg strive to capture resource points and summoning the cavalry charges. They should certainly add more troop assaults that players can summon by completing certain quotas of items and resources. Also, Alterac Valley should have a greater impact on the world. The background of the valley is that they are looking for some kind of artifact there. Perhaps if you win the battleground enough times, your faction will get some sort of bonus. Very good idea. Progressive content right there, as suggested by Royal Arcanist. Dr. Spiffy comes up with this. Have the NPCs be the main force in the game, once more. So the players are more of a support force, who have to capture the mines to upgrade their weapons and get more supplies for your faction to produce more troops. The players should not be able to hold off the opposing NPCs by themselves. They should have to support the troops. In other words, add more NPCs and just have them upgraded by
That's so jingoistic.
An interesting idea. It does remind me a little bit of the Tides of Blood map, a modification map for the Throws and Throne, in which your hero, and you were able to pick one of those, was in fact a supporting player for your main force, which left your base every so often, followed a preset path and attempted to fight its way into the opponent's base.
There
Maybe
it is.
it could fight in the same way.
Okay, it's gotta get there,
NPCs
Venom.
as the main attack force, supported by the, obviously that's the different attack abilities. Philip Denton, also known as, how the hell do I pronounce that? Tyrgos. Tyrgis? Yeah. Either works. He's a level 60 undead warlock from EU Stormweaver. And it says, in my opinion, Alterat Valley was originally supposed to be the means for WoW players to recreate Warcraft-style gameplay. I believe Blizzard has effectively managed this with quests and capturable graveyards, towers and bases. However, the problem is really with the players. I believe since every time I've played AV, everyone just goes solo and battles take hours to finish with nothing being achieved. The solution would be to introduce a Battlefield 2 style commander gameplay with honor rewards for carrying out given orders and cooperating as a group. For example, if you are told to capture the graveyard and you complete that objective, you receive honor. Furthermore, another solution could be to allow guild leaders to set up guild versus guild combat, which would definitely lead to more cooperation between players, since they actually know each other and may have done so for some time, and letting the guild master have commander powers similar to Battlefield 2 would definitely add to the gameplay. A very good idea. I like that idea. It's interesting, in fact, that Alterat Valley never seems to be guild versus guild. I've always noticed that going into Alterat Valley on Dagger Spine EU involves one of two things. Either, no, I tell a lie, one of three things. First thing is synergy, or a large, powerful guild are in the battleground with us. Since the opposing powerful guilds on the other side have seen this and think that the battle may last longer than they wish, they leave. And it involves in a complete wipe out for the Alliance, who get annihilated as we, the Horde, roll over them with our power gamers in tow.
Okay.
Of course, the opposing side of the coin is that the Alliance do that with, say, guilds like Forte and the Corporation. They roll all the way back against our leaderless
Interesting.
MC, unequipped rabble, and we die. The third option is, of course, that neither of those happens, and that we just get two Zergs and we get a big stalemate. Why is it that Synergy and Forte have never really clashed properly in the battlegrounds? I don't know what happens on your servers, whether you do see these epic guild clashes, but I tend to find that it's either one or the other. One side has their big guild in, and the other side doesn't. Whether this is simply due to bad luck, whether it's because they're deliberately leaving in order to find an easier battleground, well, I don't know. But it is unfortunate. Okay.
Meh.
Right. Someone else, also known as Yogo, Chris Hagen, said this. In battlegrounds, teamwork is the key to win. Zerg doesn't matter. Without teamwork, it won't work. Blizzard should add more teamwork points. You can't progress on the field if you don't take them out. So, in other words, choke points and objectives that need to be captured. So you need to progress your way across the battlefield while zerging it. Blizzard should also make some more bosses for the Alliance, of course. Currently, with all the new gear, they become easier and easier to take down. Can't argue with that. In my opinion, they were claimed to be battle winners. If you had your boss out, you would win. But in this case, that is not the case. Good ideas from Yogo there. Now, I asked earlier what battlegrounds are like on RPPVP servers. What am I talking about? Role-playing servers. And I've got a report from Jaspel Verdi from the Earthen Ring European RP server. And he says this. Warsong Gulch is ruled by the few sex teams who make the effort to organise themselves. Pickup groups will lose all the time to set up groups, which I'm sure is the case in regular servers. Yes, they will. There is little or no role-playing in Warsong Gulch, and justifiably so, since it's impractical to RP while you're fighting for your life and tasting honour points. Ultimate Valley only runs if the Horde want to. What makes it worse is that the Horde leave Ultimate Valley if they start to
Finally.
This is in fact the case on other servers as well. This has happened with Daggerspine with both Alliance and Horde. They are both equally guilty. A couple of the raid leaders will then post the Earth
back.
Ring Realm form, proclaiming the Alliance
I don't want to run.
sportsman for some absurd reason. There is some RP in AV since it's such a large battleground and you're not always facing the enemy. You can play out storylines in Horde rules the roost in Warsong Gulch. Alliance have perfected AV. This is why battlegrounds are a bit impractical on the Earthen Ring. The Horde will just AFK in Warsong if they come up against another set team because they know they won't have to wait long for the match.
I haven't got all day.
Which they can win against a pickup group. Alliance prefer Ultimate Valley because we are a lot more organised on a larger scale. And I believe Alliance have only lost one Ultimate Valley out of 24 or so games. So that sort of gives a little bit of impetus to my point that I made earlier, that there are certain systems in World of Warcraft that do not encourage role-playing. And indeed, on role-playing servers, that isn't necessarily happening. Unfortunate.
Hey, Jake. How you doing this evening?
Captain Vashon's death will slow down the Scarlet Crusade's advancement in Tirisfal quite a bit, but other threats loom. Scarlet Crusaders have been raiding from the ruined tower in northern Tirisfal, past Faol's Rest. According to the information we have, a ruthless commander named Captain Melrak is in charge of this evil crew. I am entrusting you now with a special and dangerous mission. Slay Melrak and his 2 bodyguards in the name of the Dark Lady.
Okay. Really? White weapons? That's shitty.
the living.
That is really shitty. Like, they're not giving me anything good.
Speak quickly.
Ah, this venom will do perfectly, adventurer. Everything else has been added to my concoction and boiled down. Finally, I am ready to try this new deadly agent.
According to the Death Guard, another one of those foolish dwarven mountaineers has just been captured. The Death Guard likes to use the cellar of the Gallows End Tavern as a holding cell until prisoners can be properly dealt with. Why don't you go see how the captured mountaineer enjoys this special drink I made for him?
Okay.
It contains a subtle hint of what the Dark Lady has planned for the rest of Azeroth.
Okay. I'll do that.
Hello.
Blood Shadow. Noise. But yeah. A new plague. Let's go see this motherfucker. There you are.
Ah, a drink at last! I'm sure it's no Rhapsody malt, but I'll take anything to wet the old whistle at this point.
Fucking idiot. You had a good scoundrel. Insta death. Okay. Perfect. And that's it for that. Go back to her. That's Silver Pine. That's there. That's up there. And I should do that at some point. Right out of quests to do in this area. Of course, they probably didn't expect me to stick around at level 14. So. Yeah, level up my skin a bit too. It's only level 20. I gotta get it up there.
I can't catch that yet.
Cool. I could almost crit 100. With that at least. With this, I could probably crit well over 100.
Very good. Your efforts do much to keep the Scourge at bay. A commendation will be sent to my superior, Executor Zygand.
Our time will come.
Okay, I guess that's it. Alright, well, I do need to go to the crypt. Yeah, I want to do that. Yeah, I gotta get that skill. Okay, I'll make my way over to the crypt. Put the podcast back on.
Right, okay.
It's almost over.
Running out of time here, I'm running out of content, and quite frankly, I should have had a drink earlier, but never mind. I'm going to go and get a drink in about 10 minutes, and of course leave you with a little bit of ending show music. However, there is time to give out a few shout-outs. Last time I said I wouldn't be giving shout-outs, but well, people asked, so I should provide here to serve the public and all that jazz. Shout-out, please. William Hampton. Hey, look at your Blue Please shows. I'm on the Allied here PvP server. Could I get a shout out to ECO, myself, and D in Half Pint Heroes Guild? Thanks for lending me 24 gold.
I don't feel like fucking around with that again.
Shout out
over it.
for having a robo chicks from a mount. Well, you are known, so you are therefore ganked on sight, I'm afraid, but you do get your shout out before your inevitable demise. Shout out, of course, goes out to I can't pronounce his name. I never can. It's IOIID. It is his birthday. Hallelujah. And, yes, well done. It's your birthday. You're not quite dead yet. Fantastic. So, if there are any other shout-outs, then send me a PM. Do not send me a DCC chat request, because I will ignore it. PM. Shout-out goes out to the Lords of England on the EU Burning Blade server, who are doing Ragnaros right now. Cheers. That's from Sylvanus. Shout out goes out to our guild from SoCar. It's the Halibuts on the Daggerspine EU Horde. Shout out to the Inner Sanctum Guild on the Silver Moon server, and that's by Ion ASS. It always sounds like Ion Arse to me. Crazy. A shout out goes out, of course, to Night Talon, Idiots, Morons, and GCSE Failure Chris. Nice.
What do you
I think it's about time to head out.
That's not good.
No Thokar, D10 does not rock. D20 all the way, and until death, you infidel. Okay. Thank you for listening to Blue Please tonight. Apparently I'm supposed to pronounce K-un MP's name correctly.
Stat.
Well, I can't. Oh dear, I'm getting more shout-out requests. Better get those out to everyone that wants them. Dr. Spiffy sends a shout-out to all the RPers who stand up for their beliefs. Funky Monkey, pronounce my name just because you can. Well, it's not that tricky, really, is it? Let's be realistic. Stinky Rex wants a shout-out to the Knights of Arcadia on Dark Iron, an excellent group of people, if I may say so. Shout-out goes out to the second Kurobashi Empire on the upcoming PvP RP server, and that's from Varska. Shout-out goes out to Will and his cat, who needs a shout-out. Apparently they both rock. It's a scary thought, folks. Yes, it is indeed. Shout-out goes out to the Midnight Sun Order on Zenada. And to anyone else who did want a shout-out. Unfortunately, there's just too many of you. One final shout-out must go out to our
I gotta go all the way around.
much-loved and much derided community manager. It's Thunder God, of course, the one and only, and of course the tech lead, who is a gnome, but we will forgive him for that. Shout-out to Cruss, who got his Arcanist panties. That sounds a bit worrying. Infidel gets a shout out to him and his brother, Infidel and Velocity. Oh dear, more and more shout out. Shout out to everyone on the Thunderhorn EU in the UBRS with Monkey.
Okay.
Shout out to the Alliance Watch on the Earthen Ring. That's
Let's
from
find
Sid.
Another
shout
a little
out to
further in the
F8
future
on
here.
the Burning Blade server. That's from DTU, and a shout out to Kiki G.
A couple years later.
And so...
Yes, indeed, folks. Welcome to Blue Please here on WoW Radio with myself, Total Biscuit. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the show. And yes, we are actually on air today.
That was a short episode. We'll skip to something longer.
Actually, it can wait a little bit because, first of all, I wanted to thank you for being so incredibly, compliments, whatever. On to the subject of Doom. The rumor about Death Knights that will be released in Content Patch 3.0.2. Good lord. Yesterday, an official forum poster posted this.
I remember
Seeking
these.
A Blue response. Where I work, there are a bunch of World of Warcraft players now all saying a Blue said that the Death Knights will be released before the expansion comes out to allow people who want to play Death Knights to level them to 70. But when the expansion comes out, the Death Knight will be locked until they get the expansion. I don't know if this is true or false. Maybe you can help me out. That is as basic of a question as you can ask. The answer should be simple, yet it wasn't. Big gasp here for maximum dramatic effect. Now, Nethera posted something. Yes, posted a reply to this, indeed. And it is rather long, needless to say. At least, in fact, it is so long that the person who sent it to me didn't actually link me to it. Thanks. I mean, this thread is 26 pages long. I clicked the link. It's not there! Ugh, good lord. Oh well, never mind. But yeah, so there's rumours on the internet. And he says, the response was a link to the original announcement of content patch 3.0.2 and some of the content being released in it. What you didn't see was a no, or that rumour is stupid, or even a maybe. So, what can we make of this? Well, apparently DeathKnight.info is having a lengthy discussion on their forums about this, but what do you think? Is it likely or right out? If you ask me, it would make sense. Maybe allow people who pre-ordered Wrath of the Lich King to roll a Death Knight before the expansion hits live realms and level it to 70 in advance, so that they can ready themselves for North when come the expansion. Looking through the files found in content patch 3.0.2, there is no such thing as a playable Death Knight to be found, but it only takes a small 40 megabyte patch containing the Death Knight for Blizzard to put it through. Oh, and last night Ghost Crawler announced the changes to Death Knights that we will find in the next beta build. And being a bit Death Knight fanatic and theory crafter myself, I'll go out and say, with that build, Death Knights will be more balanced and complete than ever. High five, and lots of nah, that's gay. And that's from The Jazz. 70 Priest, Horde, Talvanar,
Gay.
Right, okay. Yeah, there are rumours on the internet, and I'll tell you what other rumours I've got, is that this dog is eating a screwdriver. So I am going to go and stop the dog from eating the screwdriver. I'm going to continue to talk as I walk across the room. There's one dog over here. I want you to screwdriver at all. That's a spoon! Why did it have a spoon? Of all things, why a spoon? At least, you know, I could have dealt with a screwdriver, but a spoon? Come on! I just fed that dog 15 minutes ago, seriously. How do you hunters cope? Really? How? Anyway, let's get back on this. The chances of Death Knight coming before Wrath... Probably about a month or two ago, I'd have said no way, but seeing what the kind of concessions that Blizzard are making to kind of please their player base right now, I think it's entirely feasible that that might end up happening. I mean... The reason that I would say that they would do that, aside from keeping people playing and getting people to pre-order the title, which, to be honest, they don't need to encourage people to do that. People are going to do it anyway. You don't really have a choice but to buy Wrath if you actually want to progress past level 70. And let's face it, all level 70 content is pretty much done now. So it's not like anyone's going to hang around. It reminds me of the argument that somebody made back before TVC was launched, that, yeah, there'll be a group of people that won't buy the expansion because they prefer to keep doing level 60 content. Yeah, about 7 of them. You know, really. We saw how well that worked out. So, yeah, I don't know, really. I really honestly do not know. It wouldn't surprise me after the PvP to PvE, the PvE to PvP, never get that wrong. PvE to PvP transfers and the whole recruited friend thing, maybe. I mean, obviously Warhammer coming out as well, that's a positive. They might. I don't know, it just seems kind of odd, really. Though I can see why it would work. I mean, let's face it, all the Death Knights all rolling on exactly the same day and doing all of this stuff and starting at level 55, which means, of course, they'll be behind the curve for the Raiders, so the hardcore raiding guilds wanting their Death Knights gonna have to wait for them to level an extra 15 levels. It's possible. I mean, I'm not sure that they will do it, because it seems very, very odd to say, hey, here's the biggest feature of our expansion, and we're going to give it to you before that. But then, having said that, they're already giving us half of those features anyway in the 3.0 content patch. And you know what that makes me think? It does make me think that, to be honest, Wrath is not going to launch on the date that they think it is. Right? Because why else would they give us all that content? If they weren't a little bit worried that, hey, it's not going to come out in November and people can't wait, people are going to be tempted by other games, so let's give them some extra content to play with in the meantime. And funnily enough, half of that was like the selling points of the expansions. I mean, they were kind of frivolous, you know, barbershops, Stormwind Harbour, the new talents, all that kind of thing. Also, you know, most of that was frivolous. Of course, the new talents really isn't, but I suppose you can look at it another way, that they're trying to shape down the content in a way that the beta testers can't. You know, throw all the content out to 10 million people and suddenly they realise what 10,000 can't, you know. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. I mean, I think the talents is probably a very good argument to say that the talents are going out for that reason. Because, hey, they want to check that everything is being balanced, particularly from a PvP perspective, because that ain't been happening much.
There we go.
test grounds, particularly at level 80.
That was almost tragic.
Going on, maybe because the battlegrounds and arenas haven't worked. You know, so very few people have been testing PvP, and it's all been about let's go test Nax, let's go do the level 80s, let's do some heroics and stuff like that. So that could be the reason. Well, there's a theory for you. We'll see. Now, I have one more mail, and this one is from David Fielding, level 70 Shaman on Burning Blade EU, and he says this: Hi TB, after playing WoW for a week, how do you think it compares to WoW, and do you think you'll be quitting WoW for it? Short and sweet. Well, this is kind of the last topic that I really want to do on WoW, because I do think talking about WoW is relevant to WoW players, because it's always interesting to see what the competition is doing, and this is the first, in my opinion, the first legitimate competition to WoW, because it's a game with potential mass appeal. It's got a really good background story behind it. It's got a very good universe to back it up and a good license. And it's pretty much as user-friendly as WoW from the start. You know, there's a couple of things which are a little bit more complicated, but I had no problem really getting into the game. So I'll give you my final thoughts on this and round it off and just say, I think, to be brutally honest, and I'll justify this in a minute, that I'm going to be playing both. I think that's pretty much a certainty now. After playing the game for a week, I've come to the conclusion that, yes, it's a very well fleshed out game. It's very well put together. It's generally bug-free, way more so than WoW was on launch. But then again, you know, it's had a lot of time. It's 4 years on from WoW launch, so it can't really be that major to actually release a game that isn't as buggy as WoW was on launch. The end game is already clear, which is something that WoW really never had. It's clear that once you get to level 40, the tier 4 content, as they call it, what you're going to be doing is city raiding and keep sieging. And you're going to also be doing the instances in your opponent's cities when you raise them and do all this other stuff. So it's a PvP endgame rather than a PvE endgame. It's like you take Lake Wintergrasp and expand that to an entire game spread across multiple zones, a bunch of quests and all this other functionality. Put in battlegrounds and then say, well, if you beat this, we will give you access to extra instances. Then you pretty much got war there in a little nutshell. What I found with WoW is that the leveling is made a lot... It's not as fast by any stretch as WoW. It is a lot slower, and it can be a little bit tedious if you just play it for a PvE game. And I think that's its weakness. It's not a great PvE game. The quests, you'd kind of do the same stuff. It does have public questing, which is very, very good, but everything gets spiced up by the PvP, and you can start PvPing from level 1 in so-called scenario battlegrounds, which you can access very readily from a queue screen. Once you've gone in there the first time and done the quest, you get a little queue button up the top of your minimap, and you can queue for a battleground wherever you are. So what you do is you queue for your battleground and do questing. It's not like you do in WoW, where if you
overpowered.
Do anything and you have to leave a city in order to do that, you then get nailed straight back down to the city as soon as the battleground finishes. That's not what happens.
That one isn't even aggro.
You
fucking idiot.
You can run around and do whatever and go back into the battleground, and it's all fine and dandy and awesome, and you won't have a problem with it. So it's legitimate style of play. You do a couple of quests, you do a BG. You do a couple of quests, you do a BG, and yes, you do gain XP from battlegrounds. It synergizes quite well, and I'm pretty impressed with the way that it works. The PvP is good. It needs balancing. It's certainly having some balancing issues, as anyone that's come up against a bright wizard will clearly attest. And I'm playing a Squig Herder, and my Squig Herder can't do jack in PvP at rank 10. It really can't. It is absolutely atrocious. I'm thinking of going down the path of stabbing, which allows me to don a giant squig, be eaten by this giant battle squig, and run around. It's like kind of like mixing a druid with a hunter. You can shapeshift into a melee form, and then use your squig as a ranged pet instead of the other way around. It's kind of interesting, although at rank 10 it tends to get me killed horribly. It's still funny, though. You know, a giant 8-foot-tall bouncing orange squig going, nom, nom, nom. You know, that's great. That's kind of funny and amusing. So I think the end game is going to require less organization and less scheduling, and that's the kind of nice thing about it. I imagine there will be some scheduled raiding of cities going on, but I think that a lot of it is going to be spontaneous. It's going to be like, hey guys, you know, shout it out on MSN, shout it out on your IMs, your Ventrilo servers, your guild forums, saying we're going to go raid the castle now, or we're going to go raid this keep, we're going to go raid this city, and you just jump on and do it. Whereas in WoW, it's more of a case of you have to be somewhere at a specific time. So I think they will mesh rather well together. I intend to play both, at least until as long as I'm actually enjoying both. I think that WoW is going to satisfy my raid needs quite nicely. That's what WoW's always been great at, and I really don't see why so many people say otherwise. You know, raiding is the best part of WoW. It's the most content-rich feature. There's way more design and effort goes into that than anything else in the game. PvP is a mere side game more than anything. It's, you know, it's a novelty. Some people take it seriously, but I'll be brutally honest, guys. If you like PvP, that's great, but do you really think it's a fully fleshed out system? Because to be brutally honest, you want to look at War to see what's a fully fleshed out system. Indeed, look at any other MMO that's PvP orientated. EVE Online, you know, anything like that, Anarchy Online, look at Star Wars Galaxies, look at PvP, you'll see that it's a bigger game, it's a more dynamic game that actually affects the world. It's not a glorified series of gladiatorial contests, you know, and death matches.
That's easier.
The flag, which is exactly what
to deal with.
WoW is. Not a bad thing. I'm not going to state that it is unequivocally a bad thing. It's just WoW does it better because WoW had it built into the game from the get-go. Now, I don't know if they had the idea of raiding built into the game from WoW's get-go, but they certainly jumped on the idea quite nicely. You can see the evolution, rapid evolution from Onyxia through Molten Core, through then Blackwing Lair, AQ40, you know, the Zul'Gurub and Naxxramas and all that kind of thing. And you'll see that, yeah, they did a really good job, and they're evolving that constantly, and the raiding is becoming really interesting. So that's certainly what I'll be playing WoW for. So yeah, anyone that's thinking about quitting WoW,
yeah, might as well turn that in.
Are you really into PvP? Because if you are, then maybe you might. You know, maybe you might go to war, and that's what's going to happen. Really, it's a better PvP game, unequivocally. But if you like raiding,
does that better be good?
Nobody knows, Solo. Nobody knows. And how you doing this evening? I legit tried to play tic-tac-toe on this shit. Anyway.
Your actions struck a telling blow against the Scourge, and your victory will not go unnoticed, not by the Forsaken, nor by our enemies. Continue the struggle as we all do, adventurer, and one day we will drive the Lich King himself from Azeroth.
Polls on YouTube? Alright. Sounds fun.
Our time,
I guess. I'm glad you're doing good. It's always good to hear. I just gotta kill this dude. Sweet, that's almost it. I can go on down to Silverpine. And I might as well level up skinning on the way, so
then
put that back on.
For you. Let's face it, you know, if you're like me and
while
you
we
like
make
both,
my way,
but you weren't a fan of the PvP in WoW, then yeah, play both, have fun, why not? Now after the break, I'm going to be announcing a special contest that we actually have coming up for you. Yes, indeed, another contest. We give away so much stuff on the station these days. Now, but first, this is a new Captain Dan track. Captain Dan, big friend of the station, awesome guy. It's called Seas to the Streets, pre-release, and it's from his forthcoming brand new album. My name is Total Biscuit. This is Blue Please, only here on WoW Radio. Enjoy.
From the seas to the street, got the maritime beat. From the seas to the street, get about your seats. From the seas to the street, the most wanted fleet. From the seas to the street, buccaneer technique. From the seas to the street, got the maritime beat. From the seas to the street, get about your seats. From the seas to the street, the most wanted fleet. From the seas to the street, buccaneer technique. From the seas to the streets to the
Spider-Man polls? Really? I mean, there's only one right answer to that anyway. Batman. Well, most people voted wrong? Why am I not surprised? I mean, they're probably American. They're used to voting wrong. Yeah, you hate Spider-Man fans? Yeah, I mean, I like Spider-Man enough. But, like, a lot of those fucking fans are, like, massive dick riders. It's fucking weird. Like, yeah, I like Spider-Man. Dude's alright. Especially when he can actually kill people. Even if it takes a fucking infection or some space virus alien cunt to do something about it. Yeah. Do I need to do more than 700? Fucking hell. That's racist. I can't do that much damage. He's over-reliant on his spider sense for one. And it causes him to get struck by people. Batman and like Craven. Well, yeah. That spider sense does kind of ruin a lot of things. Yeah, their nose too much or too fucking little. There's no in between. Spider sense actually is either the most useful thing or the most useless thing. It's fucking weird the way they do it. And then sometimes they don't even have him use fucking his spidey sense.
Someone pulled ads, guys. Oh, for God's sakes.
I don't.
Heal the tank. Heal the tank. Hey guys.
And then so, yeah, half the time they're over reliant on it.
Smiting and not healing.
At least the movies.
Are you DPSing with a halibut?
And the games.
George alone. You'll hurt his feelings. You named that.
I think there's a few comics where they don't really use it that much.
That idea?
Well, we're all standing in the graveyard arguing.
Or one where it's like technology, and he somehow loses it. I forget how.
Between raids and promotional photo shoots. That's why I use UGT Ventrilo servers. I don't have to get my hands dirty trying to fix a broken server.
Yeah, if they rewrote them in just a slightly better way, probably be he'd be a much better character. If they rewrote him like Spider-Man or like Batman slightly, he'd be a little better. Make him serious. It's exactly the physical pain, super strength. Oh yeah, with his super strength, which is why he gets what picked the album in Captain America. He's arguably on par with Batman. Yeah.
Yes, indeed, folks.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does probably experience the same pain.
15 minutes of extra content in an hour and a half show. Yes, I'm doing
makes him a little bit of a bitch.
I need to drop in for that. Wouldn't that be beautiful?
Or at least it would if they actually knew how to write him properly.
No, I'm not actually bending.
It seems like they also try to make him have like fucking iron weave skin or something in some of those comics. Especially the one where he fights fucking Fisk in jail. And it's like, dude, Fisk is a murderer. Like, how are you taking these hits from this dude like that?
3 of these authenticators to give away, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to make the contest nice and simple.
Yeah, say all this to a Spider-Man fan. Oh, I would. If they had the balls to come in here and have someone say something in their face.
And anybody
which they don't.
who wants to enter needs to do only one very simple thing. Yes,
they never do.
In a shameless piece of self-promotion, I would like you to go to iTunes and write a review for one of our shows.
But yeah, Spider-Man needs to be a little better. If they made him a little more serious, a little more grounded, for a guy that swings around on a fucking wrist web, he'd work a lot better.
Next week's Blue Please. Yes, indeed. Next week's Blue Please.
Make him like Batman, that maybe not as brooding. And you got something there.
We don't want you coming along and saying, "Hey, this show is awesome," when it's not. We need to know your feedback.
Probably.
Otherwise, how are we going to improve? We don't get easily offended, so by all means, constructive criticism if you want to do it, praise if you want to do it. Preferably a mixture of the two in the most honest way imaginable.
Perhaps.
So yes, 3 Blizzard authenticators to give away. And it will be a random prize draw to anyone who this week drops an iTunes review for one of our shows. Okay, if you want to do an iTunes review and don't have iTunes, well, download iTunes. Look for WoW Radio. It's really not that hard. Now, content. We're done with that, so let's get on to some content. First topic this week is this. Vehicles in Wrath of the Lich King. Trucks in World of Warcraft. Yes, indeed. Now,
I discovered something rather interesting on the beta server yesterday, which I didn't actually know about. Now, when I first started playing the beta on the level 70 server, I encountered a quest, and that quest was a daily quest, and it involved a flying machine. So I did this quest, and you got in this flying machine, and you got what appeared to be some kind of pet controls underneath it. So I was flying around in this flying machine, thinking, hey, this is going to be like a flying mount with weapons or whatever. And it turned out that no, actually it wasn't a flying mount. It didn't handle like a flying mount. It handled something way differently. So I was thinking,
which is weird because the Flash is like, theoretically you should be the strongest character.
And it was not. It didn't
you should be the strongest.
It was different. It was actually a vehicle, and the vehicle could
character in any comic.
And the vehicle could be given a wide variety of different abilities. So like,
dude can run that fast. All he has to do is punch someone's heart out.
Because I went to play on the level 80 server. Now, yesterday,
but he's bitch made and won't do it.
Motorbike mounts. They are called that chopper or that hog. I can't actually remember which. But yeah, you actually get an achievement to get one of this called "Get to that chopper." It's like
dude, something that pisses him off.
Yeah.
Like how quickly could the Flash
just release Arnold Schwarzenegger the MMO? Seriously.
Punch out Spider-Man's heart.
References in there, just make it good. Now, obviously, there was a bunch of people trying to get these things. You can buy them for like 5 gold from a vendor. I assume this is just a testing thing that you can't actually get a bike for 5 gold from a vendor. But these things...
Oh, then we get, what, a speedster Spider-Man?
Maybe someone's bought some extras and asked around. So someone was advertising the trade
I hate that.
You know, beat the queue, go and get one of the...
That's the last thing we need is Spider-Man webbing around at the speed of sound.
Dalaran, not Darnassus. No one goes to Darnassus. I went to the bank at Dalaran and I spoke to this guy and got my...
That's just asking for trouble.
Motorbike. So I got on my motorbike, it's my known, I was driving around like, yeah, this is awesome. And bouncing around the place and everything. And apparently, and this is really, really cool, you can actually get a passenger in there as well. If you're in a group, and someone clicks on your bike, it pops out a little sidecar and they can ride around it. I'm like, great, that's awesome. Now, the thing is, it took me a little while to realize that this was not actually a mount. True, it's not actually a mount. You know, it acts like a mount, but it isn't a mount. It's actually a vehicle. It's a personal use vehicle that acts like a mount. Now, you might ask me, Total Biscuit, what is the difference? Well,
comfortable speed like a motherfucker, or uncontrollable speed.
It only had one command, and that was dismount. But yes,
dude, yeah, Spider-Man ended up getting Speed Force. He'd go back in time and accidentally cause 9/11. Whip it around through the tower.
This could actually bring to WoW. These things are individual entities. Yeah, they're individual entities.
I forget I said that.
Can be selected,
I didn't say
and they
that.
have their own HP. Yeah, this is kind of crazy. It's like a pet that you ride on. Right? So you've got a vehicle. If you click on the vehicle, just say you were riding around on a Kodo, and you clicked on the Kodo. Well, obviously in the normal World of Warcraft, it's going to select the Tauren. In this, not so much. That's not actually how it works. You click on the vehicle, it selects the vehicle.
Yeah, if I have like MJ, like dating her is a bad idea.
I'm like, oh, interesting.
Dude, dude, could you imagine fucking putting Spider-Man in the butterfly effect? Having him, and the answer is actually Peter Parker has to go back in time to his mother's womb and strangle himself with his own umbilical cord.
And indeed, they've actually brought in a couple of other mounts, particularly one that impressed me in its...
Dude, that's the Spider-Man movie I want to see next.
Caravan Mammoth.
This just butterfly effect with Spider-Man at that point.
And it can hold up to 4 people.
Of course, going with the better ending, the original ending was him going back to them as little kids and be like, "I hate you, bitch.
And on the back, it's
go get raped or something." You could do that to Mary Jane if you want to go down that road, or just go down the road where Peter Parker has to strangle himself as a fetus.
Because they made 3 pre-mades and pulled all the money. Smart move, guys.
That'd be hilarious, dude.
It was cool. But again,
I don't know why it reminded me of that so much.
Huge range of possibilities.
Just immediately, that's where my mind went. That
I made earlier of the flying machine.
The next Spider-Man is R-rated.
Now that flying machine had 2 weapons.
I hope.
It had machine guns and it had rocket launchers.
That'd be cool.
Now, think about it this way.
Get to see Spider-Man say fuck.
That was not the only place.
Little teeny tiny Tom Holland.
And indeed, what if Wintergrass wasn't the only place you could use this? What if
Make him have it on symbiote. Are they going that route with the next movie?
You might think, well, that's a little bit
They're going to actually have Venom.
What about if you were able to get your own personal fighting
and Spidey
meat? You did in said vehicle was an entirely different feel to WoW. You know, it's like mounted combat. We've always kind of
That's an idea, I guess. That works.
For WoW, because mounts have always been
It's not what I would do.
Of WoW ever since 40, and they're bringing all these different
But
mounts
what do
to
I know?
people. But let's face it,
Nothing,
mounts
apparently.
are nothing more than a slightly different skin. It's a modified skin. Effectively, they're putting a horse under you, and you're moving at a slightly enhanced speed. It's not an entity as such. It's a spell. You know? And indeed, mounts are spells.
Yeah.
So, you've got to look at it and think, well, okay, what if mounts weren't spells at all?
Okay, yeah, you can blame
what
that
if
on the
mounts
symbiote.
were actually physical entities?
Oh, okay, then yeah, that would be kind of funny.
Think about it this way.
And that's where the symbiote begins. Spider-Man's fetus corpse necrotizes in the womb.
PvP air combat
Turns into a symbiote.
Mobs so high that you couldn't attack them with normal weapons, and you
Hey,
had to get into your flying
there we go.
machine or whatever.
That's
and you could use that, and indeed you could have various different variants. You know, you could look at it and say, well, okay,
That'd be
what kind of
fucking weird.
flying creatures are there in WoW? Well, there's a variety of different flying machines. You know, you've
Can you
got
imagine?
goblin zeppelins, mini goblin zeppelins, the
It's actually a good
death
comic
machine
book
things that you saw.
It kind of is, isn't it?
Two.
You've done extremely well,
Let's see what else you've got. Of course,
That's the fucked up thing.
You've got
The fucked up thing. It
planes,
kind of is a
all
good
sorts of
idea,
things that you
but
could possibly come up with.
but
And
like
it seems to me
nobody would ever do that. Who would ever butterfly affect Spider-Man and then have the ending be that when the fetus dies in the womb, it turns into a venom or a symbiote? Who the fuck? Who would actually do that? Nobody. They had to put all the good ideas out. Dude, they're all up here. All the good ideas are up here. All of them.
This had better.
Actually, all the good ideas are in this bag. All the good ideas are in this bag right now. That's where all the good ideas are. And you gotta smoke that shit to get them out.
You have done extremely well, adventurer. With ruthless fighters like you conquering in the name of the Forsaken.
But yeah,
our
they gotta
race is
fucking...
one step closer
They
to
gotta make a
defeating
comic of that.
Arthur's
Someone
once
has to...
and
I
for
wish I knew how to draw.
I have a good feeling about you, comrade.
I wish I could draw. I wish I had the money to commission something like that. I would do that.
Our time. You have done extremely well, adventurer. With ruthless fighters like you conquering in the name of the Forsaken, our race is one step closer.
I already heard that. But yeah, I would I wish I could do that. Make a comic. Dude. That would be so fucked up. But they fumbled the bag with Arkham Shadow. Wow, what's Arkham Shadow? I can't spell. The VR exclusive? For the Meta Quest 3. Yeah, that's a fuck up. The Meta Quest 3. Nobody.
Speak quickly.
Are they trying to have that fail? I can tell you right now, the amount of time they're going to put into that is not going to be... They're not going to get enough money from MetaQuest 3 users to justify that. They are trying to fail at this point. That's what it feels like. Yeah, new Arkham VR game. So yeah, an Arkham VR game could be really good. Like, I would love an Arkham VR game. A good Arkham VR game. That would be awesome. But even nobody gets on VR anymore. Well, no, the VR still has a somewhat sizable user base still. In fact, I bought Beat Saber. I finally got VR working on stream. So I finally, I have a way where I'll be able to play, whatever I want in VR that this PC can run. And I'm going to be doing that. So, I can do that now. That's what I'll probably be doing. Maybe do Beat Saber at some point, but we'll see. Yeah, you get the boxing games. I don't know if I could tolerate those boxing games. I'm not built like that. I can do Beat Saber. I can't do boxing. That's too much. Too much effort. Too much requirement for me. Or that's just too much. Yeah, it's too much required. That just can't happen. Okay, we go to Brill. Not Brill. We go to Silver Pine. We go to the Sepulchre in Silver Pine. Now that we've completed basically every quest in this area, we can move on at level 15. We're definitely going to be overpowered for the next area, so that'll be fine. I ain't trying to fuck around like that on this character. Yes. Yes. Keep doing this. Like an octopus motherfucker? Really? What the fuck? How? Okay, how do they justify that? How do they justify an octopus as an enemy? How the fuck? I can see how that could be a fun kind of thing, because you got all the arms to deal with. It could be a challenge, I could see. That'd be interesting. But, like, how the fuck? How is that justified in universe? They're trying to weave all of it. Now, that does sound kind of fun. Sounds doable. At least that's, yeah, what it would be for me. Be pretty doable. Beat Saber does that enough for me, though. I played that long enough, that shit gets me sweating. Now I just gotta start, I gotta find that fucking program to mod it so I can download songs right in game. And I got the shit hooked up over my router, so I don't even need the cord. Although I might get a cord at some point, just so it's stable. Because over the air it's fine, but I think I prefer cabling it in. Cabling it in. God damn, I can't speak. Then it squirts ink, that's not dodgeable. So it Mario Karts you? That's kind of funny. Take that shit. I guess you gotta just start. Is it one of these games where it's like where it's a steady pattern, where it's predictable? Because if so, I guess that makes it. All you gotta do is learn it. You just gotta get good. And you should be easy. I mean, what? You can't dodge an octopus? You move to the left or right. No, is it like a primitive ass VR game? With a very limited range of motion. You can only do that and block. Fucking hell. That seems a little primitive. Seems like a Nintendo Wii game. With a fitness pad. You lean to the left or the right. What, Molly? Come here, girl. Come here, girl. Hi, come here. Happy baby. What are you doing? What? 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 What you doing, pretty girl? You're so pretty. You're so pretty. Kiss. Give me a kiss. Yeah, it's a dirty shirt. I know. Give me a kiss. 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 Okay, thank you. Good. You want a beating? You want to get beat? Molly, want a beating? Hey. You want a beating? Okay, maybe later. Yeah, send a signal of abuse. Dude, she likes abuse. She's weird. Molly. What are you doing? Come here, look. Come here. Come here. Come here. Molly! Come here! Come here. But Martha speaks. But Martha speaks, but it's in a courtroom. And it's to a lawyer. Martha speaks to her lawyer. Where's that episode of that show? Martha speaks to the district attorney. Martha speaks to the judge in arbitration. Molly, come here. Martha speaks to the police. Yeah, before she gets euthanized. Martha speaks to the judge in her trial for mauling a kid. That'd be fucking hilarious. Molly, come here. Come here. Up here. Up. 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 Hey, up. 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 Get up here. Get up here. Get up here. You want to get beat? You want to get beat? I got a cramp. I had to stop. She was just standing there. Let me hit her. Ow. I got a stomach cramp. Ow. Ow. Ow.
What do you require?
Weed. Okay. Okay. But yeah, meat cannon. Dude. Like, like something like when he did the Blue's Clues fucking one. Something like that one.
Beware.
That one was fucked up. That was really fucked up. I did like that Blue's Clues one though.
Speak quickly.
As you may know, the town of Ambermill remains a source of human opposition.
Right, Clifford wins.
Mainly through the support they receive from the wizards of Dalaran. I don't know what their plan is, but for them to show interest in a backwater village
Clifford
like
actually had a family that loved him.
That it must have some greater importance. They've been shipping crates by the wagon from Hillsbrad. Many of those supplies end up at a small
or steroids or something.
Ironwood village. Retrieve the contents of a crate and return them to me.
Okay. But yeah, Clifford actually had had somebody that loved him. Blue was more like a co-worker to Steve. Steve's the only one that matters. Blue was like a co-worker more than anything. Hell, he was more family to Mr. Salt and Mrs. Pepper than he was the fucking Blue. And Martha, that dog is fat. Nobody cares about that dog.
Beware the living.
If they cared about that dog, they wouldn't feed that dog human food and make it fat.
Lady Sylvanus has charged Varimathras with the conquering of the human and dwarven lands to the south. But that fool, Arugal, charlatan of Dalaran, and now cursed beast of Shadow.
You know what I really fucking... I hated that one bitch. What was that one bitch? That one bitch from Clifford. I don't know if I should have this on stream. Let me private that real quick. Yeah, Emily. No, it wasn't Emily. Not Emily Elizabeth. No, it was that one dog. It was that one bitch with that one dog. That fucking. Ooh, I'm fancy. Ooh, 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 I'm wearing a sweater. Ooh, ooh, that fucking dog. That bitch is that dog's owner. That bitch. I hated that bitch. Who was she? Machiavelli, whatever. No, not the one, not the purple poodle voiced by Cree Summer. No, I love Cree Summer. Cree Summer is great. Of course, there's a wiki for it, but they won't say who his owner is. Who's his owner? There's a picture of her, but where the fuck? Let me see. That bitch. I hate that bitch. I hate that bitch so goddamn much, dude. I hated her. I hated this cunt. There was something about her that I was like, oh, dude, no. Clifford needs to maul her. Just one time. Nobody's looking. Nobody would care. Fuck this preppy ass. This is what Connie Supanusapone from King of the Hill would have been like in an alternate universe if she was a stuck-up bitch. Fucking preppy, sweater-wearing ass. Hair banded up, fancy fucking, naming her dog Machiavelli. Like she's fucking intelligent or something, like she knows shit. She don't know shit. She don't know shit. Like that, I don't want the quest text covered. But yeah, fuck that bitch. But yeah, her and the dog, exactly. Fuck both of them. I hated her. I really hated her. If any character was going to die in that show, it should have been her. If there was going to be that one episode where a character randomly dies, it should have been her.
Lady Sylvanus has charged Varimathras with the conquering of the human and dwarven lands to the south. But that fool, Arugal,
I hate that bitch,
charlatan of Dalaran and now cursed beast of Shadowfang Keep, let his reckless magic wreak havoc with the strategic stronghold of Silverpine Forest. I need someone skilled in the ways of combat to help clean up Arugal's mess. Prove yourself to me by killing 5 Moonrage White Scalps. The wretched beasts can often be found just off the road down the hill below.
Cool. But you're gonna ask ChatGPT? Ask it what?
What now?
Okay, it's gonna be like that.
Exactly what you need.
Yeah, I'll be able to make clothing in a minute. I don't need to buy it. That'd just be a waste.
This had better be good.
You don't have nothing to say.
Executor Hadrick asked me to take stock of our equipment at the Sepulchre. With the Scourge, and worse, lurking in the woods, he doesn't want the Death Guards to lack gear they might need.
Okay.
I found that we are in general well stocked, but we do need more weapons to replace those lost in the field. Here is a requisition order of what is needed for the weapon dealer Gordon Wyndham in the Undercity. Take the order to our Batmaster, Karos Razok, and speak with him about transport to the Undercity.
Trust no one.
Okay. Yeah, I don't.
The winds guide you.
Be quick about your business.
Okay, I'm gone. Quicker than that.
I am forsaken. Trust no one.
Ah, how good of Apothecary Johann to send his research. With so many new developments here in Silverpine, I nearly forgot about the findings coming out of Lordaeron and Tirisfal Glades. Which reminds me, I need to get those samples off to the necropolis soon. But you must excuse my rambling. Extend your stay in Silverpine, adventurer. We could use an able-bodied adventurer like you around here. Arthas's numbers are overwhelming. But with a new plague, we could eradicate both the Scourge army and the human infestation once and for all. My studies have proven that spider blood combined with a toxin derived from a grizzled bear heart results in a deadly elixir. Collect samples from the spiders in the skittering dark to the northwest, and from the bears wandering throughout the Silverpine forest. Deliver the reagents to Master Apothecary Farinell of the Royal Apothecary Society in the Undercity.
Oakley dokley. Eventually. What does his report here say? Okay, by order of High Executioner Hadrick. Below are the items deemed necessary in order to maintain the stock of the sepulture. 12 long swords, 9 daggers, 8 shields, 15 axes, and 1,000 arrows. Fulfillment of this order is to be considered a direct command of the Dark Lady, and those responsible will be brought to her attention, as will any who oppose or otherwise hamper her wishes. Who gives a fuck what a woman wishes?
Greetings. Our bats are well trained and fed. You'll not find faster.
An order for supplies. You'll want to take this to the Undercity, no doubt. And quickly, for the sepulchre must not be left understocked. One of my bats can take you to the Undercity for a small fee.
No shit.
Speak with me again when you are ready, so that we may arrange your transport. You will find Gordon Wyndham in the trade quarter of the Undercity. That is the same quarter where my bat will land.
Okay. Got a couple things to turn in back at the Undercity, so we'll just go there. Do what I need to do. Listen to a podcast on the way.
This would be a really good way to go. Now, the thing is, you wouldn't have to just do this in the air either, although it would be kind of funny. The idea of doing it in the air would be this. If you actually fought in the air with aerial combat, you actually did damage to the mount. And if you destroyed the mount would explode and, of course, drop the person from it. And there is actually a parachute system in place. It's not a slow fall as such, it's kind of like a different spell entirely. It's a parachute system built into the flying machine in the level 70 quest that you do over in Howling Field. So, you could put the parachute in there as well. Or you could have parachute be an optional extra, something that you have to buy, and if you don't buy a parachute, you get shot down in midair, you fall to your death. It's the kind of thing that you've seen it happen before with people that jump off their flying mounts in the middle of nowhere, and they drop down and try and cast spells on people as they fly past. You know, it's like that. It's like taking that to a whole new level, but you don't just have to do that. What about if we then took that concept and applied it to ground warfare? What about actual steam tanks? You know, steam tanks, all that kind of thing. Well, this is what we're actually going to be seeing in Lake Wintergrasp. But what if we saw it outside of Lake Wintergrasp? You know, what if? What if we had our mounts that actually, you know, could be upgraded with weapons? You know, and you might think, hey, is that a good idea? Is it not? Well, you know what? I think at this point, anything that actually innovates mounted combat that way is a very cool idea, and it's, as far as I know, not been done, at least not particularly well in any other MMO. So that would be a nice, brand new feature to bring into the game. Mounted combat, why not? Maybe change the mounts over, or at least give additional mounts that were like actual battle mounts, for instance. Instead of riding a Kodo, you're riding a battle Kodo, and it has various features. Those drums on the side of the Kodo, well, why not make them actually work for an AoE buff? You know, why not allow the battle Kodo to bite other people? Why not use it as some kind of mounted combat kind of thing?
I mean, he is a huge fucking dog,
what
and
about
dogs,
naval warfare? What about naval
even medium-sized dogs,
to sail the seas on your own little boat? You know, multi-crew boat. Think about it. You know,
Molly, where are you?
How awesome would this be? Guild boats. Think about that. Or you just party.
Okay, you're over there. I see you go.
Various sizes, and you could go between the continents
But yeah.
on them. You know, so you'd have to obviously add an actual sea section in the middle.
normal-sized dogs like Molly are strong as fuck. Clifford would be fucking too damn much.
Who steers it, and then everyone else is on the cannons.
For everybody involved.
There you go, you got a boat. You know, there's games that have done this before. They're not MMOs, but stuff like
don't forget, Blue is magic.
Particularly Battlefield 1942, where you could all control.
Blue is literally magic.
Of a naval vessel. You know, why not? You know, tell me why not. Obviously,
You know, Blue Skidoo, motherfucker. We can too.
Kind of
and Blue can jump into a fucking painting.
I'm not very good at smiling, but trust me, I am happy to serve.
Why not bring in naval warfare?
Like, Blue is magic as shit, so don't underestimate that either. But yeah, she can strategize. But why would she want to communicate? Clifford's just a dog. Clifford don't give a fuck. Blue has magic. Martha is the weakest of everyone there. Clifford would lose the Blue because Blue could skidoo up Clifford's ass and Thanos him or something. I don't know. Yeah, their cleverness. Blue's not really that. Blue ain't clever. Maybe.
An order from the Sepulchre? Very well. It is an honor to serve those who serve our Dark Lady.
What do you sigh there for? It's like, I'm so tired of this.
I have placed the Sepulchre's supplies into this crate. If you have already visited the Sepulchre and spoken with their Batmaster, then you may ride a bat back to him. Speak with the Undercity's Batmaster, Michael Garrett. He can provide you with a bat to the Sepulchre.
Right.
Speak quickly.
But yeah, I don't think Blue don't need her cleverness. Blue has magic.
Greetings, adventurer. I'm a commendation officer acting on behalf of...
I don't care. But yeah, you can't underestimate magic. Plus, Blue can jump into another thing and turn into a fucking puppet. So, there's something going on there. There's some evil witchcraftery going on. I do not... That is entirely unchristian. And I don't think Jesus approves. So there's something crazy going on there. Hey, sorry Foxy, I remember that guy. He gave me food. But yeah. Now where is the crafting or the tailoring vendor? Tailoring trainer. Where's my fucking asshole? There we go.
I am forsaken. Trust no one.
Victory
Hello?
for Sylvanas. What now?
Okay. Wait, you can skidoo. Damn right you can skidoo. You can skidoo up your ass.
I am forsaken.
He's not afraid to Thanos. Blue can Thanos. Hey, or Ant-Man anybody.
Lady, watch over you.
You know what I mean. People are getting Thanos and Ant-Man real quick. Yeah, and teleportation. Yeah, she can. Yeah, she got that Mario fucking power. And plus, she can just leave a paw print somewhere on things for no fucking reason. There's nothing explaining that. It's there. Like, it's just, she's weird like that.
What is it?
Just, yeah, I'll just put a paw print. I'll manifest a paw print somewhere. Like, Blue is the strongest. Magic-wise. But yeah, Blue wins. Yeah. Nobody can beat Blue. Only one that might be able to beat Blue... Deadpool. Yeah, basically, so I'm Blue and Clifford. Well, Clifford isn't much of a breakdown. That's just big dog. Big dog equals power. How much of a breakdown could that be? Like, that's all Clifford would rely on in that situation. It's just being a big dog.
Beware, our enemies abound.
Yeah, just right under him. Yeah. That presents its own risks. That wouldn't be worth it.
I am forsaken.
Because all Clifford has to do is anticipate that and lay down. Partway through. And you're dead.
Inventory is full.
Okay, inventory. Suck my dick. Sell all the shit that I don't need. Get rid of that. Gotta go visit the weapon master. Hopefully they have staff training here. Okay.
But why not just go nuts? You know, use this content to the absolute best of your ability. Don't just confine it to Wintergrasp. Don't just put it in one PvP zone. That's a gimmick. It's the same as putting it in that quest. You know, in Howling Fjord, if you try and fly that flying machine out of the radius of the quest, you aren't able to keep flying it. It stops. Yeah, it's like you are out of range of the quest. It stops. You have to go back. Well, great. Now, what about if it didn't? What about if those vehicles actually became part of the game? What about, you could upgrade your mount to a battle mount, and you could have all of this amount of combat. Entirely new dynamic there to World PvP. And indeed, entirely new dynamic to questing. You know, why quest when you can quest in a tank? I don't know. Why not? All of this possible content here, you know, you could add huge swathes of content there in the middle of the maelstrom, or in the middle of the sea, and all of this ocean combat that you can access via boat. You know, screw swimming, boat, you know, and you could have herds of aquatic form druids kind of flying along beside your boat. That would be great. You know, a little dolphin.
Okay, now the expert will talk to me.
Attach limpet mines to the enemy things.
Thank God.
The kind of point that I'm trying to make here is that this is a feature that has so far not received much attention. You know, people have been concentrating on, Death Knights, Lake Wintergrasp, level 80, barbershops for some ridiculous reason. And yet they've just put vehicles in the game. So there's something that could be the biggest change ever, and barely anyone's paying any attention. Lord, do people really want more of the same? I think they do. And I think that's why WoW continues to be successful. People like things that are safe. But you know what? I like Blizzard to take that concept and expand it to the point where WoW genuinely has something really cool that is brand new and nobody's really seen before. And would have worked in Star Wars Galaxies had it not been a really terrible game. It's like the Jump to Lightspeed expansion in Star Wars Galaxies. The idea was you could engage in combat with your ship and all that kind of thing. Well, why not if you could engage in combat with a boat, or a ship, or a tank, or a flying machine, and this could be a part of the game? I'm up for it. I'd like to see it. Wouldn't you? No? If you've got any opinions on this, feel free to email the Murloc@gmail.com. That is the Murloc@gmail.com. I've got some Nubcake news for you. I'm going to be right back after this. And, of course, another track from the one and only Captain D. My name is Top Biscuit. This is Blue Please. Wanting my naval combat in WoW. Nubcake news. Enjoy.
Live from the Blue Please Tower in Howling Fjord, it's Nubcake News with award-winning anchor Total Biscuit, bringing you all the news that matters, whether you realize it or not. Welcome to Nubcake News. I am Total Biscuit, and this is a thinly veiled reference to my huge salami. Should go nice with a little garlic butter and some thick, crusty bread. In the news this week, Nubcake News is pleased to announce that it has secured exclusive information on the upcoming announcement at BlizzCon 2008. For the past few months, Blizzard has been strangely silent as to what its big announcement could possibly be.
Ooh, and their BOE, I can sell a couple of them.
WWI and the Lost Vikings TCG and coloring book at Gen Con, it seems there are really no franchises left to milk. Our researchers concluded that only one possibility remains. Blizzard intend to create
I need more Linden now.
Joining us now is Commissar Folklore, of the Angry Marines chapter.
Hey, I'll use that for myself
Monitoring the
first.
researchers' activities. Commissar? New IP,
Embrace
heresy,
the shadow.
innovation, heresy, jaywalking, heresy.
Hell yeah.
Thanks, Commissar. It
What
would appear
do
that we
you
won't be needing to
require?
pay their salaries after all. Since we now know that it couldn't possibly be a new
Yeah,
piece of intellectual property,
say-
we must return to the possibility that Blizzard
Well.
intends to reuse an old franchise. Unable to fathom what it could be, we have tapped the vast resources of Nubcake News to send a highly trained undercover operative to Blizzard HQ.
Yeah, I'll do
Go
it.
to him now for a special live report inside Blizzard HQ. Solid biscuit.
I'll sell what
Can
I
you hear me?
can when I can, but I need it for me.
Sorry, Solid, we appear to be having issues hearing you. Perhaps you might want to get out from under that cover.
Do not seek death.
Seriously, if you've left the stealth microphone outside of your cardboard box, you won't be
Okay.
getting your Christmas bonus. Yes. Can you hear me now, TB? Finally, yes. Can you give us a status update? Well, TB, I'm inside Blizzard HQ,
Where the
where
fuck
I'm
did that
attempting
go?
to infiltrate their top secret testing lab, where I'm reliably informed they are keeping their secret BlizzCon announcement.
Oh, well.
There are several levels of security between myself and the lab. The first is a series of guards who I intend to sneak past by disguising myself as
Yeah.
Fangtooth. And how exactly do you intend to do that? Well, I have this costume which consists of a pile of live kittens. I feel this will accurately reflect the appearance and mannerisms of the once legendary CM. I'm coming up to the first checkpoint now. Mr. Fangtooth, pleasure.
Huh. I totally forgot what I'm doing.
I'm listening.
Well, actually, no, I'm not gonna get nothing for it anyway. Fuck it. It's low enough level, it doesn't even show up, so it's not worth doing. So I don't care.
This had better be good.
Okay, yeah, I believe this belonged to an associate of yours. I found him dead by the hills. But no idea what you're on about. Okay.
Trust no one.
I mean,
Speak quickly. Our time will come.
okay, I need to find a skilled warlock. Okay, I'm just gonna fucking use my phone and Google it. I don't care to fucking figure this shit out. Okay. What is this? Unidentified artifact. What do I do with it? Okay, I guess it's a warlock trainer.
Blood and thunder.
No. Drain life. Don't need that.
Dabu.
I'm listening.
Okay, I found this on the body of an alkalite. What can you tell me about it? This is a vessel for fell magic. I've seen a few like it. It requires a blood sacrifice from its holder in exchange for great power. You said you found it on a dead body? In that case, the toll for the ritual was likely too much for the alkalite. and his body gave out before the vessel could be filled. If you were to take it back to the site of the ritual, you could claim this power for yourself. Warn you, the sacrifice will be severe.
Beware the living.
Okay. Back to the same place I found it. It'll give me something, so I guess I ought to do that.
Pleasure to have you with us again. Going to see Mr. Morhaine?
Okay.
Very good, sir. Just go on through. Second elevator on the right. Success. I have passed
Actually,
the first
since I'm
checkpoint.
here...
Now all I need to do is discard these kittens and move to the elevator to reach level 2. Please tell me this isn't going to be a new rogue mechanic. What?
Yeah.
No. Ah, damn it. The glue is probably a bit much. How else was I supposed to get them to stay put? Your techniques are truly astounding. Thank you, TB. Has picked this one up in Korea while battling inflatable aardvark, a deadly new weapon of war that was threatening the sovereignty of our great nation. They really called it that? Yeah, funny thing. I thought it was a bit tame, too. I'm glad we see we share the same perspective on life. Perhaps you, too, can one day be a stealth action hero. Quite. It sounds like you've reached the second floor. What do you see? Well, yes, it appears to be some kind of coded lock. 6 digits. There's instructions here. It says, use your authenticator. Well, goddamn, nobody has those. Oh, look, a direct line to customer service. Let's see.
Okay, what the fuck?
Yes, Yes, my account name is SexyDude69. Why, yes, I do live there. Favorite color? Puce? No, not puce. How about yellow? Green? Blue? Ah, yes, blue. You know how it is. So easy to forget these things. Oh, you'll open the door now? Great. Thanks a lot. Why, yes, I am enjoying playing World of Warcraft. Thank you. That's all you did? No super secret hacking tools? No micro explosives? Not even a basic lockpick? Oh, TB, you have a lot to learn about infiltration. Leave it to the pros, eh? Yes, I think I'll stick to broadcasting. Okay, I'm coming up on level 3, the final system before the lab. Good lord, it appears to be a test of basic social skills. Those diabolic fiends. There's no elevator to get through here. This calls for desperate action. Commissar, now! Heresy!
Okay.
Was that absolutely necessary? Well, how else would you suggest I get past such an impenetrable defense system? Huh? Mr. Expert? Think you know better? Well, why don't you get in your cardboard box and come down here? We'll settle this mano a mano.
Okay.
No, that's fine. I have complete confidence in your abilities.
There?
So
Okay.
should he. Ingrate.
Weird.
Finally, the lab's in sight. Funny, it doesn't have the kind of labels you'd expect. And what kind of labels would you actually expect? Well, something
Let's
like
make our
top
way to
secret
the
lab,
sewer.
ultra-hidden research bunker, convenient volcano island, all it says is Wrath of the Lich King vehicle testing. Well, that's no secret. We know about that already. Why don't you take a peek inside? Okay, I'm going in. Good lord. Can't be. I wish you could see this. It appears Blizzard have done the unthinkable. What? Tell us, damn it! It's rock and roll racing? They put rock and roll racing into World of Warcraft? There's a bunch of test subjects here, wired up to computer systems. They're all driving around Azeroth in tiny cars. All the phone music's been changed to MIDI covers of 80s metal tracks. They're running down nubs in the Barrens and laughing. Oh god, it's horrible. I should have known the vehicle system was only a front. This was it. This was their master plan all along. Hoodwink us for 4 years and then, when we least expected, bam! Rock and roll racing. This isn't World of Warcraft at all. This has all been a conspiracy. Hook us in, and when we're at our most... Infiltrator spotted. Security, terminate the intruder. Oh, Lord, I've been spotted. I've got to get out of here. Too late, sucker. Take the corpse of Patchwork. He's fraying again. Well, what about this cardboard box he was dragging behind him? Looks like it's got a microphone attached to it. No, can't be right. No, nobody would be that stupid. Must be a decoy. No, we'll deal with it later. Get that corpse out of here. Yes, up. Now, back to testing. Kungan, please give us your feedback on these latest changes. Kungan needs no helmets. Kungan drives all. Vroom. Good lord, the humanity. I'm leaving the studio right now to hide. This is terrible. This is horrible. This is the worst thing to ever happen. This has been Nubcake News. Good night. You're listening to the archived recording of Blue Please. Music was removed due to copyright reasons. If you'd like to hear the live music, then tune in live at 5:30 EST
That's 10:30 British Standard Time on Fridays at WCRadio.com.
All the fun of television without those annoying pictures.
From Ratchet to Winter Spring, this is WoW Radio.
Why is it a rare?
Yes, indeed, folks. The sounds of George Thorogood the Destroyer is about to go. I don't know, I'd kind of go for rock and roll racing online, you know, just a bit of a hint for Blizzard there. It's Blue Please on WoW Radio with myself, Total Biscuit. Yeah, I'm going to try and fit in some more content, yes indeed. Extra content in the show is a bumper show. It's popping at the seams like it's just stuffed down 3 Big Macs and a 48-ounce chocolate shake. Now, quick announcement. More announcements. How more announcements can I give you? I mean, I could probably give you an announcement every single segment. You know,
Okay.
really. I've got all this cool stuff to tell you about. This one is actually kind of a personal thing, but thought I might let you guys know. I did a little bit of voice acting for a game a little while ago for Armor Games, which is a big company that makes Flash games. Oh, hey, not big deal, you know, I know. But they made a game by the name of Warfare 1917, and they were looking for voice actors, so I went in and I did some voice acting for them, and
only
they've
6
used
seconds,
it in the game.
though.
And the game is now out. So these guys are very, very good at making Flash games. They've put out
Yeah,
some
okay.
really awesome stuff. Chances are
Good
you've
for
probably played at least
PvP.
one Armor Games product before. So go and check
Hey,
it out. I'm going to
spammable.
give it to the IRC. Right? If you're not already in the IRC channel, you better be, because I'm about to give you the link. So get in the IRC channel. It's irc.mmorc.com, # WoW Radio. I'll also post it on the forums after the show. I will try and read this out for you, but it's a little bit long. It's Armor Games, and it's not spelled the proper way. It's ARMOR Games. And no, Americans, you can tell me that's the proper way. No, it isn't. You miss out random letters.
Continuing the fight.
Lazy. That's the problem with you. So yeah, Armor Games.
Oh, then yeah, by default, Deadpool would win now.
.com/play/2267/warfare-1917.
Oh, that's the easiest fight.
Again, armorgames.com.
Blue can, yeah, teleport.
/2267/warfare-1917. And if you
But
still
what
miss
else?
That, well, you can check it out on the channel.
Why is my Pop-Tart
at
split?
irc.mmorc.com. So
You
yeah,
split
plug
out
the
the
way,
bag.
some more content. Now, talking about homogenization. Now, the problem WoW is having lately, at least from what I've seen, and I called this, you know, I'm gonna say, I don't usually say I told you so, but I called this before TBC. When they announced that Paladins would be coming to Horde side, and
Pop-Tart.
of course,
Nah,
Sharks
s'mores.
coming to Alliance. Now, I believe we were actually doing
I got
everything
4
at the time.
boxes of those
And we called it.
motherfuckers.
We said, look, if this happens, this is a slippery slope towards homogenization for the sole purpose of easy balance. Now,
I love
when
the
talk about easy
s'mores.
balance, you can look at Warcraft 2. That was easy balance because
It's
everything
the
was
best.
identical. Aside from the spells and, you know, tiny little spell units. Of course, there were like 3 units on each side that actually had spells and abilities of some kind. And even then, people complained, oh, it wasn't balanced, it wasn't balanced.
Pop-Tart
Now, of course,
memes?
Blizzard proved that, yes, it could
Oh,
balance
what?
the game with 3 distinctly
Yeah,
unique
one's
sides
about
and
how
abilities
a woman
by
with balls
making
isn't
StarCraft.
gay.
Admittedly, it took them about a decade to actually get it properly balanced. But yeah,
Yeah, I've seen
widely
that.
considered to be the most balanced RTS ever made, indeed the most balanced game ever made. And it's the difference. You've got 2 kinds of balance. You've got symmetrical balance. You've got asymmetrical balance.
Oh, there's a
asymmetrical
Tide
balance
Pod
is where
flavor
you
pop-
take the
oh.
idea that no, the factions
No, I haven't
are
seen
not
that.
the same, but their abilities complement each other. And when you take it as a whole, this faction is actually balanced to this faction. And if you don't counter a particular
I haven't
strategy,
seen that one
then
yet.
it's you who suck, and not the fact that your units suck. You know, asymmetrical
But-
balance is what every game
yeah.
seems to strive for these days, and indeed, that is what I believe WoW should be doing.
And a Mountain
what they've
Dew.
been trying to do, you know.
Yeah, a
they've got
Mountain
9
Dew,
different
that
classes,
would
they've all tried to
kill.
balance it
That
out
would
with
destroy.
3 different talent trees for each, so you're looking at 27 total, you know, possibilities there, assuming, of course, that there weren't more viable specs, which there are. So there is plenty to do. Not
That
only
would
we've got
destroy
balance,
Kellogg's.
the fact that PvE and PvP are 2 different entities. that
If they
require
ever did a
vastly different
Mountain Dew
skills
flavored
and talents
Pop-Tart.
and equipment and that kind of thing. So you've
Ooh,
been looking at a
Popeyes.
case where it's been
Ooh, a
difficult.
chicken and
A lot
waffle?
of people complain. And a lot of people are whining.
Chicken and waffle flavored Pop-Tart?
That kind of bothers me.
Fuck yeah.
I've never been a fan of PvP in WoW. I like the idea, but it turned out not to be as great as I thought. And ever since then, there seems to have been changing my class for people that play PvP, and I don't know why that is. You know. It's like, hey, let's rebalance Project
That
Gotham
would be
Racing
pretty
3
nice.
so that the demo of Geometry Wars will work. It's the same thing. You change a mini game and it affects the larger game, and it makes the larger game worse. So yeah, never really been a big fan of that. However, they've continued along this line, and the problem I'm having right now with the beta is that you see a lot of these kind of cool, unique abilities being given to more than one class.
I don't know, people are just getting dumb with it then.
Something that was announced quite recently, priest racials are disappearing. They're all going. They're going to the bye-bye bin. And in the bye-bye bin, you'll find all of those forgotten hopes and dreams that those priests had, and all the ideas for the fact that all of these different races were supposed to have unique racials, and all of these different classes were supposed to have unique racials, and yet priests were the only ones that got them. And the reason to justify was, well,
to see which ones are allowed.
You know, it fits the law that a night elf priest can get star shots. Woo! You might as well roll a druid and do moonfire. You know, it's equally pathetic. Like, what else have you got? Desperate prayer.
Like meme by committee.
Desperate prayer. Great. What else have you got? Feedback. Whatever. What else have you got? Devouring plague. Because, of course, undead, despite the fact that they are healing and using the light and their magic is holy, we're going to have devouring plague because, of course, they're evil.
I have no idea where the fuck
bugs, things like that. You know,
this thing is. Dead Acolyte.
But yeah, all sorts of different silliness, you know. Be a ward for dwarves.
I gotta fucking Google it now.
Females around, wouldn't they? Where's my rim shot? Where is it? I've lost
job?
it. My rim shot.
Oh,
yes.
shot.
The delivery. About 5 seconds out of sync, but it's still there. Anyway, so yeah, the idea of asymmetric balances seems to be something that's kind of eluding them right now, because they're getting rid of all of the unique variety stuff, making it talents or base abilities, and saying, here, there you go. It's like, what, we're supposed to thank you for that? I suppose some priests might be thanking you, saying, hey, look, we've got more skills. Everyone else is going to say, hey, look, we've got less variety. Thanks. You know, pleased, what, 1/9 of the population and pissed off 8/9 of it, you know.
There it is.
I mean, most people might say that,
Applejack
hey, it doesn't matter so much,
Applejack's
but to
flavor
me,
would
again,
be pretty
slippery
good.
slope. And I said it before TBC. The homogenization
I could get behind that.
With the Belfs.
Actually, you know what would be pretty good?
You got your Belfadins,
Honeycombs
you
flavored.
Shaman. You take those, and look, the game's
But of course, I'm talking about the honeycombs back in the 90s, before they fucked up the recipe with the whatever the fuck they call it now.
Now what? Well,
You get
there's been a couple
you
of
get that
things. Now,
shit.
I'd like to concentrate particularly on Shadow Priests, because for me, Shadow Priests were the pinnacle of
I need it.
hybrid class utilization within a raid environment. Yeah. Look back to the way things used to be. Shadow Priests.
Ooh, fruit gushers, Pop Tarts.
Moonkin Druids.
I could do that.
Shamans of any
Maybe,
kind that didn't
depending on
involve
how
healing.
Fruit Gusher goes with
all these kind of things. All these
pastry.
hybrid classes. Hybrid classes were only used for healing. Yeah. And even warriors, you know, only really used for
That would be
tanking.
good, though.
That was their primary
I'm
role.
fucking-
That's what they were best at.
I'm hungry.
And in the TBC, they actually made a genuine effort to change that and to make it different and to
Huh.
say, hey, we can make hybrid
Ground
classes
beef.
useful. Is that a Zeppelin?
Yeah.
Is there a Zeppelin overhead? I mean, really? I don't know. That seems like a plane.
Just
Oh, well,
plain
never mind. Could've been a
ground
Zeppelin.
beef.
Freaking bombing run quests. Alright, so you took your Shadow Priests and you said, right, okay, this is how we're going to make them useful in raids. We're going to make them mana batteries, because this is new. This is something that hasn't been done before.
Doesn't
The
sound
only mana
worth it.
regeneration that's happened previously has been Resto Shamans and, of course, Resto Druids with Innovate and your healing... Not your healing, your mana spring totem. And to be fair, you know, Innovate's great, but it's only a single target.
Everything's
Mana spring totem
decreased by
regenerate
half.
Basically bugger all.
Cool,
So
fuck.
you were looking at using
Now what do I
Mana
do with
Tide,
it?
which of course is a cooldown-based ability, to bring back mana. And you know what? It was kind of difficult, especially in 40-man
To
raids.
get
to have
back to the
shaman
warlock?
in every group. So you're looking at 8 shamans there. You don't take 8 shamans. Heck, now you don't even take 5 shamans, unless of course you're doing Sunwell. But yeah. They were looking into making something that was different, so they did. Mana Battery, a constant, damage-dependent way of regenerating mana in your group. Great idea, and it worked. Shadow Priests became useful again. People accepted Shadow Priests, you know, they changed things around a little bit, and it's like, hey, now we've got Shadow Priests and Holy Priests, and they're both viable. Shame Disc Priests aren't, but, you know, whatever. We don't care about those, they're PvP class. So, that was great, and now the problem is that they're changing it. They've got rid of the damage-based ability, and they've put in a different ability, and all it does is basically regenerates a certain amount, a set amount of mana to the entire raid, like every X number of seconds. And so the problem I've got with that is that not only have they then, you know, changed the usefulness, like, right, so what you're telling me is that a damage hybrid class that wants to do as much damage as possible now no
I
longer
go
has
all
the
the
ability
fucking
which
way
made
back
its
there.
damage
That
actually
God damn
matter.
it.
You know, in a very significant way.
Alright.
It's like saying, well, your Shadow Priest ain't doing as much damage as the rest of these guys, so we're
back
not going
to
to take them
Brill.
along. Now, it was okay, because as with a
Pepto-Bismol
hybrid class, the
flavor?
point is, there's two ways of playing a hybrid. There's
Oh,
two
you're not
ways
even
of also
trying.
balancing a hybrid. Either you make it so the encounters require that hybrids perform multiple roles at the same time, which is very rarely happened. Or alternatively,
Fruit by the
you
foot
give the
flavored.
hybrid some kind of ability.
Well,
where their
no,
lack of damage
can't
or lack
because
of
of
healing
Dan Schneider.
comparison to pure classes is shored up
Fuck.
by alternative abilities that add a unique element of raid viability. And that's how they did it. That's the good way to do it. You know, that's in my opinion, the good way to do it. So not only are they doing that to Shadow Priest, but they're also giving a similar
They
ability
had-
to Survival Hunters and to Retribution
They had
Paladins.
Oreo flavored at
Look,
one point.
Seriously, Blizzard, are you telling me you only had one idea?
But,
Really?
I don't
Aside
recommend
from
them.
Auras, are you telling me you only had one idea?
Didn't really care for 'em.
hybrids, and it's like, right, well, let's give this one to every other hybrid spec now. Survival Hunters, really? Regenerating mana, what gives? Retribution Paladins?
Twinkie flavored.
Come on, you know, you can do better than that. And we know you can do better than that.
That could work.
So, why?
Twinkie Pop-Tart.
Why are you being so... I mean, I wouldn't say lazy as such, but
Yeah, then you just
mediocre.
collaborate.
Run of the
They
mill.
should, yeah.
You can do better than
Oreo's doing too
that. It
damn
bothers me
much.
Because, again, slippery slope argument. What is required is
They're not even that
diversification.
good
That is
anymore.
quite
The
clear.
Oreos don't
It
even
is
taste
very
good.
important that classes diversify,
Haven't for a while
and
now.
specs diversify, and that encounters and raids therefore diversify to
Yeah,
accommodate
they should
that
do their own thing.
diversification.
They
So yes,
should.
diversification required on all fronts.
They should
You
try
look
to
at
make
the ideas, you look
flavors
at, well,
people
what other
actually
things
want to
can you put
eat.
into the game? Well,
Dude, if they had a
existing
Boston
stuff,
cream,
mana
they probably
regeneration
do.
is an existing
But if they had like
concept.
a
Well,
Boston
it's not
cream
an existing
flavored
concept. What about they introduce some new stuff? I'm not
Oreo,
going to suggest what.
that'd be kind
I'm
of
sure
nice.
they can think of stuff themselves. But what it brings in, you brought in new things before. Resilience.
Why can't we get like a chocolate ice cream flavored Oreo?
Even Plus Hit, if you remember back in the day, way ago, they brought in Plus Hit.
Why can't we get a
So, yeah,
fudge brownie
they do bring in new
Oreo?
stats. They do bring in new raid functionality.
Where
They do
it's just
bring
a
in new
thin
mechanics.
layer
So,
of a
let's
fudge
see some of
brownie.
that, so we can diversify the hybrid classes so they're able to get
In
raid
between two
viability without being a
Oreos.
carbon copy of another thing.
Put a brownie between two
This is what
Oreos.
scares me.
Fuck the Oreos.
You can
Just put
argue
just put a brownie.
that you'll say,
Just
wait,
give me a
well,
brownie.
this benefits
Actually,
smaller
I just
guilds
want a brownie.
because that means you don't have to, you know,
I don't really want
looking for
Oreos. I just
Shadow
want a
Priest
brownie
and
now.
always have a Shadow Priest. You can have a Survival Hunter or a Retribution Paladin instead. Yeah, well, you know what?
Ah,
Here's the
you
problem.
cunt.
For active guilds, what that means
How do I get
is
outta here?
that Shadow Priest, who usually had a
Ooh,
raid
chocolate
spot and
chip
had a role in
flavored.
the raid,
Ooh.
now has less utility.
That could.
And has
Ooh.
utility that can be equally replaced, indeed bettered by one of the people. Are you
Ooh,
seriously telling me
even better.
that red
Chocolate
palace,
chip pancake flavored.
Shadow Priests and Survival Hunters are all
You
gonna
got the
have
chocolate
equal
chip.
utility and equal damage output? Because
Chocolate
if you
chip in
do,
the
I am
middle.
gonna tell you absolutely
And then the
not.
pastry
They're
be the
not.
pancake
They're not
flavor.
gonna have the same amount of utility.
Chocolate
They're
chip
not gonna have the same
pancake.
amount of damage. One is going to be favored over the others. You know what that means? Min-maxing time, folks.
That would be
because we're
pretty
now
fucking
25
nice.
man
And that you
raids.
could dip that.
We're gonna
Ooh, you could
min-max.
put
Oh, look,
like
we have a
it
new
actually
class to
good. You could
integrate.
put
We're gonna
syrup on
entirely
it.
new class with 3
Ooh.
different specs.
Well, no,
All of which are
chocolate
apparently
syrup.
in some
No,
form raid viable. So
maybe that's
we've got
just
Death
me
Knights
being
in
high
there.
in
And we're
the
looking,
munchies.
you look at the hybrid class,
Strawberry
you think,
milkshake
good Lord,
flavor.
I'm
They
glad
did
I'm not a
that
hybrid class, because
before.
Those guys are getting shafted.
They have that.
What's going to happen next?
Wasn't that good?
What is going to happen next? Are you just going to give
Wasn't
all
that
of these
good?
abilities to all of the different hybrid classes? How much more homogenization can the game take
Unfortunately.
before it becomes mind-numbingly generic? You can do better. Blizzard, I know you can do better.
I wish it did though. That would have been
Let's
nice.
see some diversification in raids.
Forsaken.
Yeah, yes,
Because
I
to be
told him
honest,
that.
I've spoken to a number of Shadow Priests and they're very upset about
I
this change.
think
I'm
you
not surprised.
do.
Huh?
Give him that.
Throw them a
Hey.
bone. Really. Give them...
Okay. Yeah, you have succeeded where my acolyte failed. All the same, I suppose. Hand over the artifact to me, and I will remove the affliction currently upon you. Okay. I consider that payment. Gave me a rune. Nicety. What's it do?
Dark Lady, watch over you.
Mnemonic tactics increases melee and spell critical chance of you and your pet by 10. Ooh. Goes on chest. Hell yeah. Getting some runes, bitch. Not nearly enough, but we're doing it. We getting them. But yeah. Alright, I think what can I do real quick? Yeah, I don't have none of that. I don't need to do any skinning right now. Oh, the weapon master. That's what I needed to do. The war quarter. Okay. And then that's where and now I have a staff. Yeah, we'll get. Hopefully, we can get staff training. And that's why I'll call it an evening. And then next time, Saturday. No, not Saturday, because Saturday's pay-per-view. Someone just killed themselves.
What now?
Ah, swords.
Our time will come.
I sword myself.
Embrace
I'll take
the
it. Maybe I can find maybe I can find a good sword somewhere. But yeah, Sunday, yeah. So yeah, I'll come back. We'll be back Sunday, and I'll start doing some adventure-y shit in Tirisfal. Well, not Tirisfal. Silver Pine. Listen to more podcasts, I guess, while I'm doing this. I'm just biding time. Joe Biden time before I, you know, to find something I can actually want to play. Because honestly, there's nothing I want to play right now. What I really want to do is do a super hard or very hard playthrough of Cyberpunk. Do like an actual, you know, read all the quest text and all that and get all the story, because I think I was wrong about that game.
Go with honor.
So I want to do that. But I don't have access to it yet, so I'm just gonna fuck around with some games and shit before I find something I actually want to do.
What would you ask of death?
Don't do it.
This crate must reach the sepulchre in Silverpine. That is easily done. Our bats fly there daily. The Batmaster in the sepulchre is Karos Razok. If you have already met him, then I can give you a bat to fly back to him. Our bats will always fly to the Undercity, but to travel to more remote locales, their rider must first visit the area and speak with its Batmaster. You have met Karos in the sepulchre, so you may now fly bats there. Speak with me again when you're ready.
Beware. How may I be of service? Trust no one.
Yeah, it's all Batman related. That's why Batman's better. People like that. Yeah, a Batmaster. Bruh, is that what they call... Never mind. Is that what they call Batman back on the plantation? Batmaster? Back then on no, Batman was one of the slaves. That's what my idea was. I don't know if I ever told you that idea. the origin story where Batman is a slave on a plantation and his parents get killed by one of the slave owners. It's not funny. It's not funny at all. And then he grows up to be Batman. The Batman that all the slaves look up to and revolt. And Batman's responsible for starting the Underground Railroad under the alias of Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman's not even a real person. He was a slave in the animated movie? Ooh, was he now? Which animated movie? He had a caveman look, though. Don't remember that one. But I want a proper... You know... I want a proper origin story Oh, it's one of the new ones.
Good work, adventurer. These weapons will ensure our death guards don't get caught unprepared. You've done a valuable service for our Dark Lady.
Remember, patience.
Okay, we'll go in here so I can get some rested XP. Oh, what do you got to say?
What is it?
Yeah. But yeah, I haven't seen any of the new ones. I've lost interest in a bad way.
A couple weeks ago, 2 of our Deathstalkers, Rain and Quinn,
But I think that shit would be
sent
pretty funny.
on a reconnaissance mission through northern Silverpine. We have not heard from them.
Joe Chill.
They may have become victim to the
is
scourge.
the plantation owner.
Though if that is true, then I want it confirmed. Find these Deathstalkers. Their first objective was to scout the
or one of the farm
in northern
hands.
Silverpine.
Something.
You should begin your search there.
I think that should be funny.
Our initial scouting
They'd
reports
never
of
do it, though.
Silverpine show the Rothides have a base at an old farm to the north, the Dead Fields. We have sent small assaults against them, but each time they are reinforced by the Banshee Nightlash, who uses her magic to rout our forces. We want Nightlash destroyed. Go to
Okay.
the Dead Fields and assault the Rothides. If you don't see Nightlash, then kill the Rothides until she appears. Then defeat her. Her essence will turn to dust. Bring me that dust as a proof.
You gonna snort it? What are you gonna fucking do?
Watch your back.
Okay.
I'm listening.
He's over here gonna be snorting dust. I'm not saying I disapprove. I'm just saying
Beware.
you should probably give me some. Okay. Alrighty. I think that's good enough. I can call it here for the evening. It's weird. I named it Ravist. The character Ravist. I tried to name it Racist, but they wouldn't let me be racist. So I went with Ravist instead. Origin stories, am I right? But okay. That'll be it for the evening. So yeah, I'll be back Sunday. And I'll do more of this until I feel like not doing this, which could be at any time. Who knows? But alright, I'm gone. Thanks for watching, everyone. Solo, you take it easy. Everybody else, bye. Stay golden, everybody. And I will see you all Sunday. And yeah, so see you then. Bye. Don't be racist. Or do.